beat right now, but one is a longtime friend of mine, Mark McCallister, the founder of Big Red Liquors. He's going to join us coming up in a minute, and we'll talk about that. And a variety of folks will also join us. Unser Jr. Is a part of this. He's going to join us a little bit later on. Sarah Fisher is going to join us coming up a little bit later on as well. We're going to have a blast over here. Matt Koglazer's in the house, so you absolutely know that we're going to talk a great deal about, well, Big Red Liquors and liquor and what is hot right now, which is always a great conversation with Matt. We'll do that while we're here as well. We'll get into that in just a second, too, but obviously we got an eyeball on Westfield at Grand Park because the Colts and the Panthers are about ready to embark on the first of two practices, the joint practices going on between the Panthers and the Colts coming up in the next 2 days in preparation for that Sunday meeting and preseason game number 1 down at Lucas Oil Stadium. So we'll get you updated on that with Mike Chappell coming up at the bottom of the hour. And I think Brendan King is going to join us at some point, as Kyle told me, out from Westfield and what's going on between the Panthers and the Colts coming up a little bit later on. So we'll do all that and then some until 6 o'clock live from IMS, where there is no better place to be, coming up a little bit later on today. Now, a couple of things we went over yesterday was a huge Colts news storyline day. Obviously, the health of Kwity Paye was front burner, and so was the contract extensions of both Chris Ballard, general manager, and head coach Frank Reich. A lot of people are down with it. More people are down with it than they aren't. I do think most understand the situation, but as I mentioned yesterday, and I really talked about it ad nauseum, it's results time. It is. And I know that people are kind of looking at this team right now, certainly up in the air, considering the quarterback situation, considering the left tackle situation, the injuries that we always see, but certainly we see now to start this particular season. That has been an issue for a while, but that is something this team will have to deal with to start this regular season once again. But I think, as we mentioned, the easiest way to put this is it's time to show some results. And it's great that you have continuity. It's great that you have belief and you have trust and belief in one another. That is awesome because, really, you look across the sports landscape, especially the professional sports landscape, and normally that's a combination that helps you win. The problem with the Colts to this point is, while you look at other aspects and you go, hey, you know what, that's really nice. Way to draft. Way to do this. Way to build the team. Way to build both sides of the line. The results have not been there. The results of finding the quarterback has not been there. The results of, staying away from injury, which I guess is just bad karma, bad luck, whatever, that has not been there. And therein lies the issue. Now, continuity is great, but results, ultimately, that's what matters the most. And that's what I understand from a lot of your reactions from yesterday regarding that matter and certainly moving forward. But, again, that came at no surprise. I mean, that was strictly Jim Irsay saying, this is who I trust, this is who I want to guide my team, this is who I believe in. And he's the one that's taught greatness. He's the one that has kind of this cart in front of the horse, so to speak. Ballard's the one that says, hey, window's just now cracking open. Irsay's the one that says, hey, we're ready to go ahead and knock that thing down. We're ready to go ahead and talk some multiple Super Bowls. And keep in mind around here, they went to 2 Super Bowls, but they didn't even win multiple Super Bowls with Peyton Manning, one of the greatest of all time. So saying that, it's hard. Saying that is difficult. Here is the other issue that we found from yesterday, too. It is that of the health status, reportedly, of quarterback Carson Wentz. So, as it turns out, if he's okay and he is a week 1 starter and he is a fast healer and everything's great in that foot, fantastic. That is great. Hey, listen, Chris Mortensen's not a guy that's just going to throw stuff out there for the sake of throwing stuff out there. I mean, clearly he got that bit of information from somebody within the organization that's not just, hey, guess what? Hey, guess what I heard? I mean, it's not somebody that just walked by a meeting room and heard something through the door. I mean, this is legit, whether it was Jim or anybody else that's a highly placed within the organization. He got the trending to start week number 1 from somebody. And this is what you know about what both Chris Ballard and Frank Reich. They don't like to put timetables on stuff like this. So the issue that you have to deal with right now is there's a timetable on this. Now there is, because of what this is said. Now, normally, you could just say, you know what, this is just somebody talking. It's somebody who covers the NFL for a living, and maybe they got some bad information. Maybe things changed. Because I think everybody out there, all you Colts fans, seem to be pretty comfortable in just waiting for the next couple of weeks to then see how this injury and this rehab has been resolved, how it has gone through. And that's kind of the timetable, if you will. Not much of a timetable, but that's what the organization said, last week, after the successful surgery. The 5 to 12 is a large window for a reason. There's no doubt about it. It's great if you can beat it. There's no doubt if you can beat it. It's great if you can come back, you can beat it, and you're good to go. But the problem you're going to have now is you have a timetable, a legitimate timetable and expectations attached to it. And this is not going to be forgotten around here. It's not. And I don't think people are thinking about Quentin Nelson in a similar fashion, but they sure as hell are the quarterback. And again, you look at the offensive line and what's going on at left tackle, and that's not good, and you just wonder how that is sustainable. Until Eric Fisher gets back, until Eric Fisher is good to go, you just kind of wonder how that is sustainable whatsoever. But then you think about the quarterback situation. It was like everybody yesterday took a huge sigh of relief. Oh, man. All right, finally some good news. See, that's what we take as good news around here, because we so rarely get good news. And when we get good news around here when it comes to the football team or the basketball team, normally you get like one nugget of good news and then a landslide, if you will, a rock pile of crappy news after that. That's normally how that goes. So while everybody had that huge sigh of relief yesterday, now you got a timeline attached to it, and you better hope, for the sake of, I guess, if you care, that everybody that's a member of the Colts fandom starts griping, you better hope that that's near accurate. I think the Colts were okay going in with us taking a look in the next couple of weeks and then making that evaluation. Then I'd love to know on the interior what they thought about that yesterday, because they are firmly against putting those timelines out there. And now you have one, which you can imagine how that's going to go coming up in week number 1 if the quarterback is not ready. Now, the other thing that also affects is this: the level of importance that you have to watch the so-called showdown between Jacob Eason and Sam Ehlinger. Now, again, you're going to watch. You're kind of interested, probably more so than anything else, because you really haven't seen them. These guys are really, unless you've been out to Grand Park, these guys are a great mystery. I mean, both of these, especially Jacob Eason. I mean, really, you see pictures and you'll see some video shot from Grand Park in Westfield. But, I mean, he's been an urban legend for like a year, right? Over a year. Hey, we hear about this guy that's got this huge arm. He's 6'6". He's like a prototypical quarterback. If you were going to make in a factory a quarterback shell, if you will, that's exactly what you would do. You would make one that looks exactly like that. Up until the past week or so, it has been not much other than an urban legend. So you want to see him out there playing. And I don't dismiss that. And you want to see a little bit of a quarterback battle, because now everybody reporting on this back and forth between Eason and Ehlinger during practice, they've kind of set a standard for you as to what to believe. Whether or not you still believe in Eason, the prototypical quarterback that shows flashes, or Sam Ehlinger, the 4-year guy that started at Texas and is, from the historic football factory high school Westlake where Drew Brees went, and hey, just by coincidence, the same size as Drew Brees, and all these connections are being made, and he's having a series here than Eason's there. You want to watch that, but you also have to realize, because of what you were told yesterday, what was reported yesterday, that maybe a little bit of the luster, and believe me, you got to dig deep for it. You got to dig deep for the luster. The luster in the preseason is not easily found, because normally you get excited for about 5 minutes. It's really like the Hall of Fame game last week. I mean, what? You got excited, hey, football's back, and they're talking football, and as soon as that thing started, you could not wait to change the channel quick enough. I mean, you can't. And that's normally the case when it comes to the preseason. Now, we didn't think that was going to be the case considering these unknown quarterback guys that the Colts have right now on their roster. But maybe with that nugget of info that was reported yesterday, maybe we do end up feeling that way as a whole. So we'll talk about that. Mike Chappell's going to join us at the bottom of the hour. Hey, Mark, you want to come over here? Give us a little chat here. Mark McCallister is legendary. I got legends up in turn 2 in the suites right now. We're going to get Norma Lawrence on here in a minute. She's going to talk us up. We got some really good Nashville stories from last weekend that was pretty sweet. You want me to bring that up? I love the off-the-air chatters normally better than the on-the-air chatter. Again, Turn 2 Suites is where we are over at IMS today with Future Star Racing, courtesy of Wings and Wheels Foundation. And my guy that runs this thing, I mean, he's the brains behind it. I mean, the very grassroots, just like he was back in 1972 with the brand in Indiana known, the legendary Big Red Liquors. The legendary Mark McCallister is with us right now. It is great to see you.
It's good to see you, John.
It is great to be seen.
So,
It is. How are you doing?
Well,
you seem busy. You're busy. You're over there writing and making phone calls.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
You are.
I mean,
I love it.
I thought everything was going to be really, really easy when I retired from Big Red Liquors. And so I thought, well, let's start a racing team.
Why don't you do that?
Yeah, why don't we do that?
So
here we are.
I love this, and I remember you talked about this even before, as this was, as I mentioned, a grassroots project of yours. You kind of laid this out to me before the major wheels got rolling down the road on this.
Yeah, we did. My wife and I, Laura, we were big racing fans, and as we'd travel around the country, one of the things that we noticed is there are some really talented people out there that their careers just stall out.
Yeah.
Because there's no way for them to get to the next level. And so what we've done is our racing team, Future Star Racing, our foundation, Wing and Wheels Foundation, that you'll get to talk to Norma here pretty soon. She's the director of. It helps kids, young people, get to the next level. And we're doing it with an eye toward diversity. We've got a young woman, Chloe Chambers, that is 17 years old. Was the number 3 go-karter in the world. She's adopted from China, and just an absolutely lovely person. We also, and she drives Formula 4, and a lot of people don't understand. We all hear around here the road to Indy, and that's USF 2000, Pro 2000, Indy Lights.
Right.
And but there's a road to Formula 1 that we don't know so much around, and that's F4, Formula Regional, and then after that you would go to Europe, and then a very few people would get into Formula 1. And so Chloe drives the entry level. It's an F4 car. And then Ernie Francis Jr., who we'll hear from a little later today, 7 times Trans Am champion. He's 23 years old, and he's doing really, really well.
7 times and 23 years old.
Yep.
So he started early.
He started early, and if you watched on CBS, there was a 6-week series called the SRX series that Tony Stewart and Ray Everingham did. Had legends there, and they tapped Ernie at 3 years old to participate, and he ended up second to Tony Stewart. And as a matter of fact, he'll call in, and he's in Knoxville, Iowa, as a guest of Tony Stewart's this weekend for the Knoxville Nationals. And So, you know, there's been a lot of activity since we really started. You know, it's more than just buying a car, I found out.
It's a Mark McCallister right there, Future Star Racing. The director is Norma Lawrence, who's also here with us. So we heard, and I remember the brainchild that Mark had years ago about this. How did you get involved with this, Norma?
Well, I've known Mark and Laura for a few years now, and I've been in the world of business development and fundraising and just project management, and they called me up and said, we're doing this thing. I'm starting a racing team,
right,
a foundation, and I was like, oh, that sounds cool. And they're like, yeah, we were supposed to be retired. And I said, well, I don't know much about racing. I know the oval because I'm an Indy girl and love IndyCar. But he said, well, we've got Sarah Fisher and Unser Jr. on the team. They can tell you how you get to Formula One, IndyCar, NASCAR, what that looks like. So I've been a sponge since about March. Learning a lot of acronyms, a lot of letters.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. I kind of leave those up to you guys.
Yeah,
because I don't want to make sure I get it wrong or anything like that. But so you've just adapted. This has been quite easily and certainly enjoyable for you to adapt to since March.
Oh yeah, this has been so fun. It's a new industry for me, so I feel like I get to come in and look at it with some fresh eyes.
Right.
Same with Mark and Laura, and it's given me an opportunity to meet a lot of great people. But really supporting young kids and understanding how hard it is to go from, you know, karting to the next level. It's not a sport you sign up for in high school, okay?
No.
And you see this talent.
It takes a lot of money, too.
A lot of money.
I have always wondered how much untapped talent goes by without ever being at all recognized by virtue of just not having the funding or the foundation to find out exactly what they can do on a different level.
Right, and so I think what Mark and Laura have done with founding Wings and Wheels Foundation, we basically give scholarships to proven, dedicated, want-to-win drivers and try and get them to the next level. And then, you know, when they get that chance, you know, it's so exciting to see them. Like Ernie is a perfect example. You know, he's now hanging out with Tony Stewart. You know,
yeah.
We're able to give him a leg up on that. And so the fundraising for Wings and Wheels funds our racing team. And, you know, we are always looking for new donors. We're talking to, you know, we have people coming all the time. They're like, oh, that sounds really cool. I'd like to be a part of that. And, you know, it's every $250 counts.
Well, the irony with Ernie is that for Tony Stewart, I mean, he could have been one of those numbers that would have fallen through the cracks back in the day. I mean, his talent was just so overwhelming that certainly he was found, but there could have been, and I'm sure Tony probably could name a lot of guys that were around him that he felt had equal talent but never made it by virtue of lack of funds. And this is hopefully what you can help find and help those that really have that talent be found by others.
Right. And because of the success so far with Chloe and Ernie, we have been getting a lot of attention. And I mean, I'm overwhelmed by how many kids are reaching out to us saying, help me, I want to do this, you know, and, you know, not just drivers. We want to help. If you want to be in the racing industry, motorsports industry, you've got mechanics, you've got people that do what I do. You know, there's all kinds of things that we could hopefully in the future fund.
All right, so how can they get a hold of you guys for this too?
You can give to at wingsandwheelsfoundation.com. We're also futurestarracing.com, but you can go to our website. We're actually on Facebook and Instagram as well with wingsandwheelsfoundation.com.
Oh, well, that's awesome. Norma Lawrence right there is the director here for Future Star Racing. Mark McCallister is also here, going to hang around, right? Come back on. We're going to talk about a lot of things. Cole Glazier's over there. So I know I'm going to get a really good bourbon, tequila, vodka education, which I'm always looking for Cole Glazier.
You're with a master when you're with
Matt.
I
mean, we got to give him a lot of airtime because it took him 4.5 hours to get from Bloomington up here today on 37. So. That's for real.
Just think what the football crowd's going to be like going south.
We were talking about that, and I feel for the IU football program to this extent. They've had to deal with this for 10 years, and it is never ending. And what they're dealing with right now, Matt, you can attest to this over there, may end up being the worst because they're by far the most highly anticipated IU football team that we have seen since the late 80s here. Easily since the late 80s. And you're going to have to be shoehorned all the way down there over the course of the fall. That's not going to go over well at all. It's just not. So, yeah, I mean, I guess the night before, yeah, I guess you get to pay, what, $500 to stay in a hotel the night before? Yeah, right. You can sleep on Cold Glazier's lawn if you want down there, too. All right, so we got Ernie's going to join us a little bit later, right?
He will.
Unser Jr. is going to join us a little bit later.
Yep.
Sarah also a bit later on, and we'll get Cold Glazier on over here as well. So we are good to go. Thanks for having us out here, too.
Well, we've got one other treat, too. We've got John Rich of Big and Rich is going to call in.
Yes, John Rich, the musician. Thank you.
We're going to be talking about his bourbon. He and Matt are going to take that part of the show.
I think it's over there right now. Redneck Riviera.
Redneck Riviera.
Yeah, so we'll talk to John Rich, Big and Rich fame, the country music artist, coming up, I believe, in the 5 o'clock hour, correct?
Yes,
what
sir.
We're going to do there. All right, Mark, you guys hang out. Norma, it's great to meet you. Thanks for stopping by here. We're with Future Star Racing inside the Turn 2 Suites, and courtesy of Wings and Wheels Foundation. This is a fantastic cause. If we got any future race drivers or we got any family members that would like to take advantage of this, because I know we have a lot of lovers of racing around here, throughout the day we shall tell you exactly how you can get involved, or as Norma also mentioned, how you can help those as well with donations and such. So we'll talk about that as we move along. All right, 239-1070 is the number. Email address is jmv@1070thefan.com. On Twitter at jmv1070. Inside the lounge via YouTube Live. Now, even though I'm not in studio, the YouTube Live feed is up there. You guys were exceptional yesterday. So just because the principal is gone, it doesn't mean you guys can get out of line or you guys can just go ahead and skip out early. Stay involved inside the lounge via YouTube Live. You're going to see an empty chair, but you're going to hear, and then you're going to be able to as well participate in the conversations. Like this, or as we started with the Colts and the joint practices with the Panthers that begin later on today. And then coming up on Sunday, you've got preseason game number 1. I've got the Colts pregame show beginning at 10 a.m. coming up on Sunday morning. That's in Touchdown Town. That is me, Joe Wrights, Bill Brooks, a couple of former Colts players. The Gorman is going to be a part of that as well in Touchdown Town coming up on Sunday. So preseason game number 1 against the Panthers, and we got you covered coming up on Sunday. I've got stuff to give away. Dead & Company Subway party passes to give away for the Subway Party Deck coming up in September at Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center, and I have Saturday tickets for the racing going on here as well between the Xfinity Series and IndyCar coming up on Saturday. We'll do that a little bit later, too. All right. We made this adjustment because practice between the Panthers and the Colts will be going on during his normal 5 o'clock time slot on a Thursday. Mike Chappell of CBS 4 and Fox 59 joins us. What he gathered out of yesterday, the extensions, the extent of the injuries, and is it good news, or have we been there and done that before too much to firmly believe that things are good? And both Wentz and Nelson could be back by week number 1 at the start of the NFL season. We got that and more with Mike Chappell coming up. Again, Turn 2 Suites is our location, IMS. We're here with our friends Mark McCallister and the gang from Future Star Racing, and that is a courtesy of Wings and Wheels Foundation. More to come, 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Summertime, and the refi is easy. With home values soaring and interest rates at a historic low 2.25%, now is the time to let Golden Oak Lending help you tap into your growing home equity. But home values this high and rates this low won't be around forever. Visit GoldenOakLending.com today and enjoy the feeling of summer all year long.
NMLS 114937, 2.25% fixed, 3.195% APR. FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
Save your seats for Indy 11's August home games now at Indy11.com. IBEW Local 481 presents the 11 versus OKC Energy Saturday, August 14th, featuring $4 beers and an $11 meal deal. Come back to Carroll Stadium Saturday, August 28th, when Indiana's team pays tribute to an adopted Hoosier legend on Bob Ross Night. Visit the tickets section of Indy11.com for seating options, including the new Heineken Party Deck. Then manage your seats and more inside the Indy 11 app.
From the first pitch to the last out, BetRivers Sportsbook has all the bases covered. BetRivers has a massive number of baseball betting options on each game, including pre-game player props and live in-game betting every inning. Sign up now and get a free play match of 100% on your first deposit up to $250. Bet with a winner. Bet with BetRivers Sportsbook. Must be 21 or over to play. Playable only in Indiana. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Hey, it's JMV from the Ride with JMV and the JMV Takeover. Saturday night, you need to enjoy the smooth sounds of Yacht Rock Review live at the TCU Amphitheater at White River State Park. Enjoy the laid-back songs of the 70s and the 80s live. Yacht Rock Review this Saturday night. Tickets at livenation.com or at the box office. Enjoy Yacht Rock Review live and then make your request on the JMV Takeover on B105.7 on your way home. Tickets at livenation.com.
Calling all auto techs, detailers, painters, body shop, lot attendants, other auto specialists, and just awesome people everywhere. Carvana, the company that invented the new way to buy a car, is having a hiring event at their inspection center in Indianapolis. Grow on the go with one of the fastest growing companies in America. They have open roles for all levels of experience, even no experience. Openings include automotive techs, auto body and paint professionals, detailers, and inventory associates. With competitive pay, on-the-job training, and company-paid certifications that give everyone a path to success. Get a great job on day one with the opportunity for a Carvana career. You'll also get health insurance. Carvana pays 100% of the premium for its employees, an extra pay, and 4-day work weeks for second shift. Grow your career with stability. Come to Carvana's hiring event. You know, the one that's at their inspection center in Indianapolis, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. August 25th through 26th, located at 6508 West FW Marks Drive. Sign up at CarvanaJobsIndy.com. Carvana is an equal opportunity employer.
I'm David Peterson, Chief Operating Officer for ERMCO, electrical systems and automation contractor for major projects such as the new Marion County Justice Center and Bankers Life Fieldhouse. While we're known for these landmark projects, companies of all sizes depend on ERMCO for their preventative maintenance, emergency repairs, and energy management services. Regardless of the type or size of your project, you deserve quality and integrity. You deserve ERMCO, empowering people, inspiring innovation. ERMCO is proud to be a Quality Connection contractor. Quality work, customer connected.
Honey, we're gonna make it.
We're gonna make it? We're gonna make it!
I just said
we're gonna make it!
Fill your tank with Amoco Ultimate with Invigorate and keep on moving. Amoco Ultimate with Invigorate at BP and Amoco stations.
When you sign up for BP Me Rewards, you can get 5 cents off every gallon of gas every time at BP or Amoco stations. That means more savings and more whatever you'd like to use your savings on. So treat yourself. It's on us. Visit bp.com/save to learn more.
You need a work schedule that fits your life, and Amazon has shifts that help you make the best use of your time. Whether you're a night owl, early bird, weekend warrior, or somewhere in between, discover the benefits of thinking outside the 9 to 5. You decide whether to seize the day or the night so you can get back to what matters most. Go to Amazon.com/shifts to learn more. That's Amazon.com/SHIFTS. Amazon is an equal opportunity employer.
Health insurance companies are expected to carry health benefits, but CareSource does so much more. We look beyond doctors' offices and hospitals to see the challenges that face our members. Then we help them achieve not just better health, but better lives. Along with Healthy Indiana plan benefits, we help our members find stable jobs, housing, childcare, and rides so they can find greater independence. At CareSource, we're removing barriers, we're improving lives, we're reimagining health insurance.
Dave Matthews Band. Summer Tour 2021. This Friday and Saturday night, Ruoff Music Center. Reserve seat tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Part of the Coors Light Concert Series.
The Ride with JMV.
Just an average guy with exceptional hair.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, welcome back. We're in the Turn 2 Suites. Mark McCallister and friends, Future Star Racing, courtesy of Wings and Wheels Foundation. Sarah Fisher is going to join us coming up a little bit later on in the show. Unser Jr. is going to stop by. Ernie Francis Jr. coming up at the top of the hour. John Rich of Big and Rich is going to be here coming up in the 5 o'clock hour as well. Mike Chappell in just a minute. Now, apparently, and Kyle and I were talking about this with bits and pieces. Jim Irsay went on with Dan Patrick earlier today, and I had mentioned where now there's a timeline out there for Carson Wentz, and that is not something that Chris Ballard nor Frank Reich would ever in their wildest dreams want to have to commit to. And because of that, you kind of are. Now, when Jim went on with Dan Patrick earlier today, Jim laid it out as follows. He basically said, I told Carson, I hope he's good to go by week 1, but we're okay if he isn't. So I don't know if that's going to temper your enthusiasm. I just think once you get that trending in a direction to start in week number 1, it is going to be really hard to get you off of that. I mean, I think that's just the way it is. I mean, really difficult to get you away from that. That is just a thought. But it kind of sounded like that maybe Jim was maybe trying to pat down. And, again, we don't know who gave Mortensen that info, I can imagine, and we can certainly speculate. I can't imagine that it was Ballard. I can't imagine that it was Reich. I wouldn't be surprised if it were Jim. I would be surprised it was somebody else in the higher-ups that would do that. But it kind of did sound like today that Jim was trying to at least squash a little bit of the timeline enthusiasm. So is Mike ready yet? All right, on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Sorry about that, Kyle. I didn't hear you. From CBS 4 and Fox 59, Mike Chappell's getting ready for a little joint practice action number 1 with the Panthers and the Colts at Grand Park in Westfield this afternoon. I want to start right here, and then we'll move off of that, Mike. I was trying to explain yesterday, because of that Mortensen report, now the Wentz return, and Nelson too, but certainly in this situation, the Wentz return has a timeline tag to it. And that's exactly what Ballard and Reich would not want. And there's speculation as to how Mortensen got a hold of that info. And I thought what was made even more interesting was Irsay on Dan Patrick earlier today saying, basically answering the question of, hey, I told Carson we hope that he's back week 1, but if he's not, that's okay. Was that to temper the so-called enthusiasm that a lot of Colts fans got by virtue of that timeline given yesterday?
Yeah, I think so. And the one thing they've really tried to do, I'm talking Chris Ballard and Frank Reich, is not give concrete timelines because, you know how fans in the media are. You told us 5 weeks. You told us 6 weeks. You told us the opener. And you just don't know. You hope. And from the start, what they have said here is it's 5 to 12 weeks. We're hoping it's on the front end, and we're hopeful that he's ready. Well, that's all they've done. So where and again, what was said was trending. Well, hell, we're all trending. We're all trending to something. So, yeah, I think it's very wrong to put too much into that. Now, in 2 weeks, I think we're going to have a better idea once he gets past this 2-week rest period, which, and then to kind of boost it even more, both he and Quentin are out there on Tuesday walking around. I mean, they're not doing anything stressful, but they're on their feet a week after surgery. So, I think Colts, we need to tap the brakes until, we get maybe after the second preseason game and going into the last one. And, I think everyone hopes that he's back primarily because, speaking for myself, I don't like what I've seen from Easton or Erlinger at all as far as being ready to play. So, but at the same time, without belaboring the point, I do agree with what Irsay said that we don't want you out there unless you're 100%. Now, I think they would take less than 100% as long as there's no risk of re-injuring it. Which if they took whatever it was out of the foot, there shouldn't be a problem. It was always going to be a injury tolerance. How much can you deal with? And on top of that, how much does that pain tolerance? I mean, how much does that impact how you play? So yeah, let's just tap the brakes and let this thing play out. And heaven forbid if the quarterbacks go out today, tomorrow, and then Sunday and just look god awful. It's gonna be DEFCON, to the top. And hopefully that's not the case. But yeah, let's tap the brakes, okay?
So Mike Chappell of CBS 4 and Fox 59 on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Hey, I get what you're saying about the whole trending to start in week one, but you know exactly how everybody's going to take that.
No question.
Listen, I wish we could have a voice to reason to everybody, but I sat there, and that's the way I interpret it. Everybody else around here did interpret it the same way, that they both are on the fast track. And it's tough to put that, what do they say, that toothpaste back in the tube? It's really tough to do that. I understand the whole tap and the brake stuff, but, this fan base not going to do that. It's just not.
Well, but how you can be any closer to knowing what their status is for week one 7 days and 8 days after surgery, that's ridiculous. I mean, you just don't know, especially when they come out and say initially, the first 2 weeks is rest, it's doing nothing, and then you get into light rehab or whatever rehab, and then, after that, they said, then you get a better idea of where you are, and we're not there. We're barely a week out from, week and a half out from surgery, and that's the problem. And it's just compounded by all the other injuries. And the fact that the quarterbacks really haven't established any consistency, and that's where it's at. And I understand fans' impatience, but with these things, you just don't know. And if you want to be that source to guess on it, and somebody goes with a source that's not either Ballard or Frank Reich or the team doctor, who he doesn't talk, trust me, or someone like that, it's just you're just running a risk of being wrong.
So Mike Chappell is with us. I want to get back to something that you had mentioned, the possibility that both of the quarterbacks playing right now, whether it's Eason or Ellinger, don't look good today, tomorrow, or coming up on Sunday. Would that affect or expedite the process the Colts might take in going out and finding a more veteran solution sooner rather than later?
I think it's more tied. It's more tied to Wentz and their comfort level with him being ready for week one. More. I don't know why we would expect all of a sudden the light to go on and Eason and Erler to play better, because we're being harsh on these guys, and this is basically both their rookie mini camps. They've not played, so of course they're going to look rough and inconsistent. So I think maybe bringing in a veteran is their last ditch option, and I think that if they do that, it's certainly an indication that Wentz is going to miss some time, game, 2 game, 3 games, and then obviously the more games that he might miss would really push you to do something. But I really don't think they want to do that. First, trading for a guy, they've already invested 2 high picks in Wentz, and cap-wise, they've got about $7 million. I know you can do things. You can probably address DeForest Buckner's contract, his base salary, and Ryan Kelly's, but they really don't want to do that. You can make it work. And if they do that, it'll be because of to me, Wentz's situation more than the backup guys.
So Mike Chappell of CBS 4 and Fox 59 on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Now, we all knew it was coming, and we know how Jim feels about both Chris Ballard and Frank Reich. I'm kind of curious the feedback you have received. Most of mine has been overwhelmingly positive. The occasional, these guys haven't deserved an extension here, but what did you think about that announcement of the extension to 2026 for both general manager and head coach yesterday?
It just reaffirms that Jim Irsay is a believer in stability, if at all possible. I can't tell you how many times over the last 10 years, 15 years, nationally, I hear that, Jim Irsay is just like his dad. Well, no, he's not. He's not even remotely like his father in running a football team, and his dad used to change coaches. That's a drop of a hat. And Jim really doesn't want to do that. It takes, I think, extreme situations to do that. And he believes they've got these 2 guys in place, similar, and not to this level, but similar to Dungy and Polian, how they got along, and one realized what his job was, and they didn't try to do the other guy's job. And I've gotten feedback too about what these guys have done. And I think Frank's been in the playoffs 2 or 3 years, and Ballard 2 or 4, and at some point we have to quit using excuses. But when the quarterback retired, suddenly, what was it, 19? It just and didn't play in 17. It's just so hard to judge. I keep pounding on the point that they're going to start their 5th straight starting quarterback on opening day. But it's just hard to develop anything and grow and take steps as an offense or a team when that's the case. And that's why they really, really need this Wentz thing to work, not for this year or next year, but for like 4 years, 6 years, 8 years. But no, I think they've done a good job. I look at this roster, and I just like top to bottom how it is. Of course there's holes, but if we get past the injuries, you like what they've got in most places. I still want to see what the pass rush looks like because we don't know. And if they get Fisher and the offensive line back, this is a darn good offensive line. It's a deep receiver group without a bona fide proven number one. Running backs are solid. The defense looks good, but it's that one guy that I keep coming back to. We keep coming back to. You've got to get the quarterback right, and at some point that's got to not be an overriding issue. And right now it is. Even when he comes back, let's say he comes back 100%, we still don't know. So, but I like this, and I like what they've done. I like the approach they've taken, and I think they warranted the extensions. And just because of what they've done, and I realize the bottom line is not what they want it to be to this point, but there are reasons for it.
So, Mike, the 5th straight opening day quarterback.
Yep, that's a nice streak, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm curious. Even back from the time they got here up until the beginning of the Manning era, did they ever go through that? And those were the lean years.
Yeah, they did. I didn't get my notes. I'm outside where it's because the press room's kind of crowded with Carolina.
I'm trying to think. Pagel,
it was
Trudeau?
No, yeah. Jeff George. I think it was Jeff George, Mark Herman, and those guys. Jack Trudeau, and I think it started with George and ended with Harbaugh. I think 91 to 95. I think, but it's just it just tells you the instability of that. And when they've had a quality quarterback, they played pretty well. They really have. Whether it was Luck, whether it was and when Luck missed a year, came back, and Phillip Rivers. Any team that's I got to get the stats in front of you. But when's the last time a team with a not a proven quarterback did a lot? It's always look at the teams that are up there and do things. It's the guys with established quarterbacks or young quarterbacks who've shown that they can do what they're supposed to do. And when you don't have that guy, when you don't have that guy, you're Jacksonville. And that's why I just laughed today where I saw Urban Meyer said that there's quarterback competition but between Trevor Lawrence and Gardner Minshew. Give me a break. That's not true. Maybe he says that to appease Gardner Minshew, but when Peyton got here, it was his. One of the great stories that Tom Moore told me when I was doing some Hall of Fame work, he said, remember Peyton held out to his first week, and Kelly Holcomb was the starter. And the day Peyton walked out on the field, he looked over and Kelly said, "You're out." And it was Peyton from then on. So when you've got that guy, we've talked before, when you get that guy, whether it's Manning or Brady or Rodgers or Mahomes or whomever, you're going to win 10 games. You just are, barring a catastrophic injury, because he's that good. And when you don't have that guy, it just makes it tough because so many other areas have to be so on point. So that's why they've really got to get Wentz back here sooner rather than later to see where this team can go.
Hey, quickly before I let you go, two things. One, on the quarterback front, let's just say, for example, Wentz is on a fast-track trend, and we still get to see, in large part, what Eason and Ellinger can do. And I know a lot of people have kind of phrased these questions as, is the Week 1 starter currently on this roster? Let's say that it is. But is the Week 1 backup currently on this roster? Will they find out, you think, that there's no way, especially with Wentz, with injury situations, you can go into the start of the season with either one of these guys, not just as a week one starter if Wentz can't go, but a week one backup if Wentz can?
That's a good question. And again, I think a lot of that will be answered this preseason game, next preseason game, because we just don't know. But that's a good point. Let's take your argument. Wentz is back. You're convinced Wentz is back on week one, and these two guys are just deer in headlights, bad in this preseason. How do you not go out and get somebody? And there will be better people out there because with cuts and whether Nick Foles is out there, that's a good point. And if you think you have a playoff team, and these guys do, and you've got Wentz, and you really have questions with the two young guys, how do you not go back and get somebody who's at least been there and had some semblance of success? I would be in favor of that, but that's why I really hope these guys look better, more consistent than what we've seen, and we'll get a real good, gauge the next 2 days and then Sunday, and then against Minnesota. But they've got to have some idea what they've got. And right now, the fact that they've taken some snaps away from Eason tells you that they don't know. I've said, and we've talked in the media room here, I don't look at this as a Sam Erlinger promotion. This is a Jacob Eason demotion. If Eason is your guy, you're not taking snaps away from him. So you're just not sure what you've got with either one of them, and you've got to find out, pretty quick.
Hey, Mike, in closing here, the Colts evidently have more boots than Carhartt. Another boot that they have strapped on to somebody has been one today that is on quitty pay. Have you learned anything? Do you know anything? Is it good news? Is it bad news? How do you view the injury that took place yesterday indoors up at Grand Park?
Yeah, it's whenever a guy goes down, you always check numbers. You just do, and it's unfair to 80 guys on the roster checking 10 numbers, and he was one of them. He's down, and certainly it's a concern. I've not been out to practice yet, but he's got a boot on. At least he didn't have a 4 o'clock appointment with Dr. Porter, which is always a good thing. So hopefully Frank will give us an update on the severity. You hope it's not the dreaded high ankle sprain, or high ankle sprain. It's 4 to 6 weeks. You don't want that. So hopefully it's something it's not too bad. But again, he's the guy that you really want to get after. He's looked so good in camp, so good. But he needs to be out there against better competition, like Carolina's going to bring. And missing snaps like this, reps like this, is just not ideal.
Mike Chappell of CBS 4 and Fox 59. Mike's got to go ahead and get ready for practice. The joint practice, number one, between the Panthers and the Colts up at Grand Park in Westfield. Mike on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline from CBS 4 and Fox 59. Mike, I appreciate you very much, and we'll check in and see where we are this time next week. Thank you.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Mike Chappell of CBS 4 and Fox 59. We are in turn 2 today with Future Star Racing, courtesy of Wings and Wheels Foundation. Ernie Francis Jr., top of the hour, is going to join us. So what'd you say, seven? He's 23 and 7 titles. That's not bad. And we explained a little bit earlier while we're here with the Future Star Racing and the Wings and Wheels Foundation, which is awesome. We'll get back into that as well. Also keeping an eye out on what's going on in Westfield. Al Unser Jr., Sarah Fisher is going to be here. John Rich of Big and Rich in the 5 o'clock hour. Brendan King's going to give us an update, I think, from Westfield as well. Quick break, and we shall return. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
Summer is here, so kids, tell your parents about the Forum Credit Union's Sprout of the Month contest, where you could win $100 in a Sprout account. Details at 1075thefan.com.
So then I dropped some garlic and croutons on there, and the rest is salad history. I made the best salad ever, people, and now I'm making the best app. The Caesar Sportsbook app got live in-game betting, parlays, and Caesar rewards. Caesar salad ain't got nothing on my app. Nothing.
Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. Download the Caesar Sportsbook app. Your app is ready, Emperor.
Hey, it's John here for PAI. WeGrowHairIndy.com, 888-724-5129. If your hair is regressing, to the point where you want options to do something about it, I can tell you exactly what you need to do. Call Darren Andrews and get that private consultation. Let him tell you all about multi-unit hair grafting, artist robotic FUE, laser hair therapy, all at one place, and get that hair growing again. Your real hair growing again with PAI. 888-724-5129. It's WeGrowHairAndy.com today.
This year, a new tradition will be born at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. NASCAR and IndyCar take on the road course over Brickyard Weekend. Tensions will run high and paint will fly as drivers like Elio, Logano, Jimmy, Bubba, Newgarden, Elliott, and more battle it out to be crowned rulers of the road. Don't miss the Midsummer Mayhem at the racing capital of the world. It's where history will be made and where racing never stops. August 13th through the 15th. Tickets at IMS.com.
Summer happens at Speedway because everything you need for summer happens at Speedway. Like drinks. Drinks happen. The freshly brewed drink, the splashed over ice drink, the wake you up drink, the cool you off drink, the make your brain hurt for a minute drink. All poured however you want them, whenever you want them, all summer long. So on every hot day, you have something cold to sip. Speedway. Summer happens here. And now, get any size fountain or Speedy Freeze for just 89 cents. Excludes maximum.
Hey, it's JMV here for John and Chris Love. That's Love Heating and Air, 317-353-2141. I would not trust anybody else with my cool and comfort in-house and making sure that my system is running efficiently. If you feel as if yours isn't, 353-2141. Get that checkup from John and Chris Love at Love Heating and Air, making sure it doesn't cost you money and you remain cool and comfortable. Love Heating and Air, 317-353-2141 online, love-hvac.com today.
Hey race fans, this is Tim Wicker from Electric Plus. When you're looking for an electrical contractor to take care of your next construction project, facility upgrade, or simple maintenance work, make sure you call Electric Plus to give you a professional and top quality project with the best team members in the industry. Just like race car drivers desire to be the best, the mission of Electric Plus is to be the best electrical contractor, period. Visit our website at electricplus.com to see how we can take care of your electrical needs.
Hey, John here for LD Smith Plumbing at 317-284-9526. Plumbing issues, major or minor, let Lance and his local team get the job done right. We're talking folks that you can trust, especially when emergencies occur. And believe me, with plumbing, it's not going to say, hey, hold on a second, I'm about ready to screw up absolutely everything plumbing-wise here. Now, you're not going to get a heads up. You've got to know that somebody has your back, and that person, Lance and his local team at LD Smith Plumbing, have the number handy always, 317-284-9526. They are the best online, ldsmithplumbing.com today.
Prescription products require an online consultation. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
When my husband started having trouble in the bedroom, I thought, is it me?
But then we found forhims.com, and now our sex life is
better than ever.
Forhims.com connects you to doctors online who can prescribe FDA-approved ED medication if appropriate. Then, Hims ships right to your door in discreet packaging. Just go to forhims.com/better to get your first visit free.
It was great to get what I need online without scheduling an appointment or going into the doctor's office.
Hims offers the same active ingredient as name brands and costs 90% less.
I couldn't believe how fast, easy, and inexpensive it was.
Rise to the occasion or get your money back. Go to forhims.com/better to get your first visit free. No copay required. The only way to get this special offer is to go to forhims.com/better. forhims.com/better.
When it comes to working at Geico, our best advocates are our employees, like Janet. But since she is so focused on growing her career, we hired an actor to read her story.
At Geico, we really help each other. If anything comes up, we work through it as a group, so we all learn.
As a full-time employee, she can also get paid benefits like medical, dental, vision, and parental leave. She even got a plaque for her desk that says, I'm kind of a big deal. Yeah, you are, Janet.
Ready to start your career, Indy? We're hiring claim sales and service agents. Apply online today at geico.job/Indy.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Listen on air, online at 1075thefan.com, and on our free app at Google Play and on the App Store. The Ride with JMV.
Let me have a Diablo sandwich, a Dr. Pepper, make it fast. I'm in a damn hurry.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Hey, welcome back. Mark McCallister is awesome. We are here today. Turn 2 Suites, our location. Future Star Racing, courtesy of Wings and Wheels Foundation. We've been talking about that. What this does, it helps the young drivers. I mean, it really does. A lot of times you're kind of born into it, right? And you got that money working as you're born into it. They help find those drivers, and we're talking the diversity of these drivers too, which I think is absolutely awesome. And we talked to Mark about that. We'll talk to Mark again. Norma was here as well. By the way, my friend J-Law says that, Norma, you're awesome. And what J-Law says is the absolute truth. Norma is also from Evansville, which the pride of Vandenberg County makes her even more awesome in my book right here. So J-Law, who is one of the foundational pieces, listener-wise, of this show, thinks you're awesome.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, so yeah, it is. I mean, that is a seal of approval that you kind of want to have. Yeah. You may want to stamp it on your resume.
I think I will. Yeah. You know, I'm sure he didn't get me confused with my twin sister.
No. Hey, how can people get a hold of you guys to get involved in this?
Absolutely. You can go to our website, wingsandwheels.com. You can find out all about our drivers and our team and the most important place, how to support us financially.
Right.
And we also have the Future Star Racing website. And all those have links to our social media. Which we've had some growing pains. We're trying to get that up and going and getting a lot of attention, a lot of traffic to our websites and our social media. So wingsandwheels.com, wingsandwheelsfoundation.com, and you can find my contact information on there.
Wingsandwheelsfoundation.com. It's Norma Lawrence, who, according to J-Law, is awesome from Evansville, Indiana. Mark McCallister is also here, so Ernie Francis Jr. is going to join us coming up here at the top of the hour, right?
He's supposed to, unless Tony's pulled him into someplace in Knoxville.
He's with Tony Stewart in Knoxville, Iowa, did you say?
Knoxville, Iowa, yeah, for the Knoxville Nationals.
Gotcha. So we'll do that, and if not, we'll get Mark and Cole Glazier on here and talk about some liquor, which is also good, whatever. But we are here for a great cause, and I'm happy to be here. Future Star Racing and a courtesy of Wings and Wheels Foundation. Turn 2 Suites, IMS, getting ready for a big racing weekend. Hour 2 straight ahead with 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Dave Matthews Band. Summer Tour 2021. This Friday and Saturday night, Ruoff Music Center. Reserve seat tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Part of the Coors Light Concert Series.
Hey, it's JMV here for Forum Credit Union. Kevin and the gang are always coming up with incredible, ingenious ideas, right, to help you save, help you manage your money. And now is a great time. Our kids are going back to school, and especially if you got kids that are teenagers or kids that are in college, what a great time to open up a Forum Credit Union student checking account. You get alerts electronically. You can do mobile banking and so much more. It is fantastic to help save, to help check you, just really in general to help manage your money. Just another great way that Forum Credit Union helps you out. In fact, my kid Blake said, I want a part of that, and I said, that's a great idea. The Forum Credit Union student checking account. Stop by a branch location. Tell Kevin that I sent you online for more info. That's forumcu.com today.
We're celebrating the Hoosier spirit at your Indiana State Fair. We've got new tastes, new sounds, new rides, new attractions, and are excited to create new smiles of summer.
Today is $3 Thursday, presented by the Indiana Secretary of State. Gate admission is only $3, plus $3 food options and rides all day long.
Join us July 30th through August 22nd for 18 splendidly spirited days at your great Indiana State Fair.
Calling all auto techs, detailers, painters, body shop, lot attendants, other auto specialists, and just awesome people everywhere. Carvana, the company that invented the new way to buy a car, is having a hiring event at their inspection center in Indianapolis. Grow on the go with one of the fastest growing companies in America. They have open roles for all levels of experience, even no experience. Openings include automotive techs, auto body and paint professionals, detailers, and inventory associates, with competitive pay, on-the-job training, and company-paid certifications that give everyone a path to success. Get a great job on day one with the opportunity for a Carvana career. You'll also get health insurance. Carvana pays 100% of the premium for its employees, and extra pay and 4-day work weeks for second shift. Grow your career with stability. Come to Carvana's hiring event. You know, the one that's at their inspection center in Indianapolis, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. August 25th through 26th, located at 6508 West FW Marks Drive. Sign up at CarvanaJobsIndy.com. Carvana is an equal opportunity employer.
Hey, John here for Heaven Hill Distillery. Of course, we're talking about the Backyard Bourbon broadcast. Number 3, later on this month. Here's what happens. Brent Halverson and Randy Strand, they bring you what you need to have a great party. I bring the show. You have 30 of your friends, and we get the Larceny Bourbon, the Evan Williams, the Luna Azul Tequila. We get New Belgium Brewing. Ryan Stoltz brings out what you love, the Fruit Smash Hard Seltzer, Voodoo Ranger Fat Tire Beer. We got to stay hydrated with Connecticut Water with Joe, John, and Dennis. And shout out to Richard and Ford's Garage in Noblesville because he brings all the food. All we need is for you to sign up. It is the party of the summer. Backyard Bourbon broadcast number 3 could be coming to your backyard in this month of August. Sign up today, 1075thefan.com.
Are you one of the millions of homeowners who haven't refinanced yet? If so, I'm here to tell you it's not too late. Hi, I'm Wesley Hogan with Westland Financial. Although the lowest rates may be in our rearview mirror, as the economy recovers from the biggest economic shock of our lifetime, rates still remain near historic lows. In fact, with the dramatic increase in home values, this may be the perfect time to put that new home equity to work. Take advantage of our cash out refi program and pay off high rate credit cards, car loans, or other high interest rate debt. Or finally make those home improvements you put on hold for so long. Best of all, we can do this with no closing costs. That's right, whether it's a conventional, FHA, or VA loan, we'll pay for your title, settlement, lender, and recording fees. So call Westland at 888-455-3669. That's 888-455-3669. It's the biggest no-brainer in the history of mankind. 888-455-3669.
NMLS number 3304. Not all loans apply. Equal housing lender.
Wow, I've got a whole 5 minutes before my next call. What should I do? Grab a snack? Nah. Text with Mom? That's more than a 5-minute proposition. I have been looking at getting a new bank account. Is that even possible?
Can't believe you have extra time? You won't believe what you can do with it. Open a Regions checking account online in as little as 5 minutes. Then enjoy award-winning service and banking tools and tech that help you live in the moment. Learn more at regions.com/live-in-the-moment. Regions Bank, member FDIC.
Need air conditioning service and need to find a trusted American Standard air dealer like Patriot Heating and Air Conditioning on the South Side? We'll find that dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
WIBC HD2, W298BB, WIBC HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
Dodgers, Mets, Sunday Night Baseball. The action begins at 7 on 93.5 and 107.5, The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
Cam's the on-site engineer. Kyle's back at the studio. I'll keep an eye out on what's going on up in Westfield at Grant Park. You got the joint practice number 1 between the Panthers and the Colts. Of course, you got that today, again tomorrow. And then the preseason game 1 on Sunday down at Lucas Oil Stadium. I have your Colts pregame show beginning at 10 a.m. from Touchdown Town. Meantime, we're in turn 2 out at IMS. Got a busy weekend of racing out here as well. We're with Future Star Racing, courtesy of Wings and Wheels Foundation. And joining us now, 7-time Trans Am champion, and he drives in Formula Regional, Future Star Racing. I've heard all the stories about the CBS show where our next guest finished second to Tony Stewart in the SRX Series. And, in fact, he's a guest of Tony Stewart in Knoxville, Iowa, racing this weekend. Ernie Francis Jr. joins us via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. That's a hell of a resume for somebody that's like 12 years old like you are, Ernie. Congratulations. That's awesome.
No, thank you. Yeah, it's a big resume for what I've done in my career. It's pretty crazy to look back at and then think about the guys that I've raced with and cars that I've driven over the past few years.
I mean, a 7-time champion. You're only 23 years old. Obviously, racing was in your blood relatively early. Can you remember all the way back to where you first kind of caught that bug to want to race like this?
Yeah, I think I first caught the bug for racing through my dad. When I was born, my dad was racing amateur club racing through SCCA and NASA. So I grew up going to the racetrack watching him. And when I turned 4 years old, he got me my first go-kart. And, started driving that. Actually cried the first time that I got behind the wheel of it. I was too scared to drive it. But, once I got through that, fell in love with it and just kept doing it ever since. Started racing cars since I was 13. And then started racing professionally in the Trans Am Series when I was 15. And then now here I am at 23 this past season racing with the SRX Series. And then thanks to our partners with Future Star Racing and Wings and Wheels, we've been able to run my first season in open wheel racing in the FR America Series and then as well in Trans Am. So it's been an incredible year. This past year for me has been probably the biggest in terms of growth for my career. So really excited with how it's been going so far and where it can go for the future.
Ernie Francis Jr. joins us on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. What stands out to me, and I mentioned this, your resume being a 7-time champion, you're only 23, and it started so early. What's the average age, especially going back to your teen years when you're winning, but what was the average age of those that you're racing against in the series?
A lot of the guys that I raced against are a bunch older than me. So it was just when I was younger, when I was a teenager, really going through the ranks of racing, especially in Trans Am. The guys didn't really see me as another driver out there. They saw me as just a kid, and they didn't really trust me on track. They didn't know how I was going to do. So it took a little bit to kind of earn their respect on track and show them what I can do. But now, having raced in the series for as long as I have and won 7 championships, and now being the most winningest driver in the series history, I think I earned that respect from them, and they see that I can run with the best of them, and that I'm a champion of the series.
Ernie, most guys, we're talking to drivers like, for example, Tony Stewart, somebody that you're with up in Knoxville, Iowa. They have a signature moment or a defining moment where you get that respect, and then you just grow from that point or get that respect from the older drivers. Was there something that stands out to you, maybe a moment in your racing career where all of a sudden you did start getting that respect from those drivers that in a lot of cases are much older than you are?
Yeah, I think the first big moment where I started earning a lot of respect from them was my first Trans Am TA1 championship. I think that was a big defining moment there going into the top level of the series for the first year that I was ever racing it and winning the championship. I think that was a big moment for me there, kind of showed everybody in the series that I'm here to stay and that I can run with the best of them. And then another big moment had to be this year, winning the two big moments this year, actually, winning my first FR Americas race in open wheel, and then winning the SRX race at IRP. Those were 2 huge moments for me that showed that I can win in all different forms of motorsport, whether it's open wheel or stock cars on an oval.
So you won that first race, you get that first win back at Mid-Ohio in June. I mean, that was something obviously you knew you could do. But where does your confidence go in doing something like that? And especially, where do you want to take this versatility being behind the wheel? Because clearly, a lot of people say, hey, I could drive anything, that has wheels. You're proving that so far. So, where do you ultimately want to go with this? And then how big of a start was that for you back in June at Mid-Ohio?
Yeah, that first win in Mid-Ohio there was incredible. I mean, Mid-Ohio has always been a track that I've liked a lot. I've been pretty quick there over the past years. And, Mitch Davis, my crew chief and engineer for the car, he's been putting in a ton of work on the car in the off season or in the time in between the races, just trying to get the car as fast as we can, learning as much as we can. This is our first year doing it, so we're all learning every race weekend what it takes to make this car get to the front. It's a lot different than anything that I've driven, so I'm trying to get used to it every race weekend. And Mid-Ohio seemed like everything kind of clicked. The car was working amazing. and we were just fast every single session. And that last race of the weekend, we got to the front, and we were able to just hold the lead and take it to the finish. And it was an incredible experience there because, it was great to get a win in something that I'm totally not used to. And it opened up a lot of eyes for people to show that I can run and win in GT cars, I can win in open wheel cars, and I can win in stock cars. And I think, it definitely opened my eyes a little bit as well. It showed me that I can go out there and I can compete with the best in open wheel racing. And I think it opened my eyes to what I can do in the future, whether I now want to go down more of a open wheel route with IndyCar or wherever it'll lead to.
Well, ironically enough, Ernie, I mean, we're at IMS today, where a big weekend is about ready to impact the city of Indianapolis, certainly, and the racing world. I mean, you got the IndyCar series here, you got the Xfinity series, and you got the Cup series coming up on Sunday. Do you have a favorite? Is there a destination more so than another where you would like to ultimately be with your racing career in mind?
I've always just told everybody that wherever I can drive and make a career out of it, I'll be happy. And I think that still stands today, especially this year. Running 3 totally different forms of motorsports, I've been having an amazing time every time I get behind the wheel of each car, and it's been so much fun. So I really don't have a preference of where I go. I think I'll be happy racing a open wheel car at Indianapolis. I think I'd be happy racing a stock car at Daytona, or I'd be happy racing a GT car at Le Mans. Wherever I end up, I'm going to be having a good time doing it.
It's Ernie Francis Jr. joining us via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. I mentioned a little bit earlier you're in Knoxville, Iowa, as a guest of Tony Stewart. So being a guest of Tony Stewart, what might that entail? It sounds like a blast.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very fun weekend. I actually just arrived to the track about 10 minutes before I called you in on the radio. So, just got over into his camper here and ready to get the weekend starting tonight. The first, there's some qualifying races tonight at 7 p.m. So really excited to check it out. Dirt racing still pretty foreign to me. This year was really my first ever experience with it, racing SRX. I got to see a little bit of the 410s running on their weekly weekend when they were here for the SRX race. And Tony had mentioned to me that the Knoxville National is something that I definitely have to come attend. It's something every race fan has to see. So when the opportunity came up that I can come out here and spend a few days watching it, I had to take him up on that. So I'm super excited to get to enjoy some racing as a fan. It's a different experience. Usually when you're racing here as a driver, it's a lot more stressful. You're just constantly thinking about everything on track, the car, what you have to do out there. When you're here as a fan, it's a little bit different. You get to relax a little bit and just enjoy it and have fun and really just enjoy the weekend at hand. So I'm excited for that.
Well, I'm here with the Future Star Racing family with Mark McCallister and Norma and the gang, and I know that they're incredibly proud of you. I did, in closing with you, Ernie, I wanted to get your thoughts on Future Star Racing. I absolutely love, and I remember Mark kind of letting me in on the conversation of what his vision might be with this, but I mean, how fortunate it is being a part of what you're a part of right now with these people.
No, I think Future Star Racing and Wings and Wheels Foundation have to be probably the biggest supporter of my career in that I've had in my whole career so far. This has been an incredible jump for me this year from where I was in the past. The support that we've had on the Trans Am side of my program, with having them on board for the whole year, has been incredible. And then the opportunities now with the FR America Series, being able to race open wheel, something that I never thought that I'd be able to drive. I never had the opportunity to get behind the wheel of a car like that. So now to be racing a full season in it and already have a win under my belt, it's absolutely an incredible opportunity. And they've given me everything that I could ask for. And, they bring out a competitive car every race weekend. Mitch Davis, works his butt off trying to have a fast car every weekend. And it's been awesome working with him and my coach, Unser Jr. It's been really cool to work with him and hear stories from him as we go to all the different tracks. So I think it's just been an incredible year, an incredible opportunity, and I owe them the biggest thanks because it's really really awesome and super thankful for that.
Hey, Ernie, best of luck to you the rest of the year. And please, once you get back here, whatever, check in once again with us, man. Awesome conversation. I appreciate you.
Yep, thank you. Thank you. Glad to be on with you guys.
Yep, Ernie Francis Jr. at 23. It's an awesome conversation right there. Shout out to Mark and Future Star Racing. That's awesome. What a great, and the success he has had by the age of 23 is incredible. So somebody you can look for here, certainly in whatever capacity he might be here in one of these days for sure. Where are we? Turn 2 is our location. IMS, of course, got a busy weekend coming up this weekend, but we are with Future Star Racing and courtesy of Wings and Wheels Foundation, which again we'll dive back into a little bit later on. Joining us here live across from me, and I talked about the legendary Mark McCallister, which he is, the also legendary from Bloomington, Indiana. He gets to travel 37 every day up here, and that's about a 4-hour commute that he thoroughly enjoys. He better be listening to every moment of this show and every single second of a podcast that I have anywhere. Of course, from Big Red Liquors, he's our good friend Matt Colglazier. It's good to have you back, man.
Hey, John.
So you've been using that time with the show, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you said a little bit earlier, I like to put in music. You say I go a different way sometimes. I'm going to go through, maybe Morgantown and Trafalgar, and I'm going to listen to music. And I thought, listen to music? What? What?
Exactly. Well, right now I'm actually wondering, like, how many beers I'd have to have before I start rooting for this zero-turn mower. Because, I mean, this is some hot track action. If people don't understand, this guy is just ripping it up. And in his mind, he must be like a legend because he's mowing the grass at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in Turn 2. He's got to be feeling like the king right now.
Well, you can't.
I don't know if you want to call this play for play, but this guy is just killing this grass out here. He's doing great.
You can't. You're not allowed to mow the grass in Turn 2 or anywhere in the infield out here and go under 35 miles an hour while mowing it. I mean, you got to go faster than that. It's just
I saw
allowed.
Jim, who's here. I saw him rooting for that guy over there. He was
Jim.
He was doing it.
Jim was out there going, "Let's go, man!"
He was rooting for him.
Waiting for him to get that into 5th or 6th gear out there. All right, Matty, what's going on with our good friends at Big Red Liquors?
It's really amazing actually because you were talking about Mark earlier.
Mm-hmm.
This is a guy who. Was involved in across Indiana in the community with Big Red Liquors for so many years. This is a guy who definitely doesn't need to be doing what he's doing and taking all this time and investing in, this sport in this community and being out here today. He could be Corona in each hand on the beach with his feet up. I mean, he's never done that before, but let's say theoretically, he knows what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
To be out here and doing it, it's a testament to the years of service in owning and running in Big Red Liquors, and we've got a transition of ownership. Another young, aggressive Indiana entrepreneur, Tony Noble, who's part of that same tradition. So. I think this whole thing went down, really smooth. And Big Red Liquors and, the people always think we're some giant thing.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of stores, that's true. But we've been owned and operated by local Indiana people forever and a day.
Since 1972?
Since 1972. And it's a great privilege and a pleasure to be out here at the track, continuing to support this tradition. In the Indianapolis market, we're going to be we're in the Fort Wayne market now, so we're super excited about that with Cap and Cork, and down in Bloomington where I live, we're looking forward to a legendary IU football season. Can't believe that's finally come around. So our stores are primed and ready and excited for the fall.
Well, I bring up, and Matt Colglazier of Big Red Liquors is with us. I bring up Mark all the time because Mark's legendary to me because obviously the grassroots for me also was in Bloomington and around Bloomington at Big Red Liquors. Obviously he's a Hoosier. What's Tony's background?
Hoosier, Indiana, Indianapolis.
I need to be introduced to Tony sometime.
Yeah.
I was kind of curious as to how he grew up because I'm assuming like everybody else that grows up around here, you ultimately do kind of take in the legend that is Big Red Liquors. So I'm sure he was well aware of it before he even took over. So.
Yeah, I mean, we're not necessarily, wouldn't say we're in some of these leagues, but you're talking about Big Red Liquors, Indiana tradition, the racetrack, you got IU, you got the Colts, man. It's just, it's a good time.
And I will say this. I mean, I know the first store you opened up, Mark, was on College Avenue in 1972. Now, I was wrong about this before. I always thought it was the old A&P College Avenue location, but that was not.
Two.
That was the biggest liquor store I'd ever seen in my life back then, because it was an old A&P, which was an old grocery store back in the day. But the one on College, which was a little further north up College, was the first one. I think it sits next to Store One sits next to a CVS, I think now, which it used to be a Burger King, and then Doc Johnson's, the porno place, was right across the street. I bounced around from Burger King to Doc Johnson's to Big Red Liquors back in the day.
It was Blair's for like the first 5 or 6 years, I think, and then Mark transitioned it to Big Red Liquors, and then what's crazy? I was picking up like 12 cases of wine to load in my car this morning. I was at the big store at like 8:30 this morning, and that store has never looked better.
Yeah.
I texted a picture to our COO. I'm like, look how good this store looks today. Bottles were perfect. Everything was faced. It was gorgeous. It was ready for the traffic to come back to town. And there's just something magical about that store.
I agree.
It's one of the highest volume liquor stores in the state of Indiana. But we have some really good managers and folks who work there right now in particular who know their stuff. You can get anything you're looking for there. Great selection. It does volume for students. It sells wine to professors. I mean, literally, it's got a little bit of everything. And it's just kind of, well, like you said, you go in that store and your eyes just light up. It's lit.
Well,
It's lit well. And, when you look at liquor bottles, wine bottles on the shelf and beer, there's so many designs and cool things now that just blow you away that it's just fun to get into.
I mean, you got to be dressed up tight now, with the bottles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Back in the day, I mean, you just kind of reached for the handle on a glass half-gallon bottle, didn't worry about it. But now you got to look pretty.
Yeah.
I mean, you do got to look pretty. I did want to ask you this. See, that one of the reasons why I know that store is because we stopped at the Waffle House and ate like at 3:30 in the morning all the time back in the day. Do you remember, Mark, what was there before at that location before Waffle House back in the day? Because you would this was, I think, when A&P was still there. And you may have made the transition from the A&P to that Big Red Liquors location, but there was an Italian restaurant, I believe, that was there where the Waffle House was and where the Waffle House is no longer. Anybody? Go ahead and mount up here, Mark, and see if you guys remember this. Anybody that knows old school Bloomington, can you answer me this? Because I believe me to be accurate. It was called Ivanhoe's. Remember, there's a restaurant called Ivanhoe's that sat right there where Waffle House took over for Ivanhoe's. And then obviously, once I was of legal age, that was always the last-ditch effort to eat and stuff before you went back to GC back in the day at Waffle House. But right next to that huge location, the former A&P, Big Red Liquors for so many years, was a place called Ivanhoe's. No? Don't remember?
I don't remember that.
I have the best memory of anybody ever. I can't remember what I did like an hour ago, but I remember that, which is incredible.
I do remember the Waffle House.
Yeah. No, Waffle House, before that, it was Ivanhoe's. It was. Anyway, I got both Mark and I got Matt here. Big Red Liquors, obviously, Matt, he had the pandemic. The pandemic, a lot of people were going and grabbing stuff and trying new stuff.
Yeah.
I think at the time of the pandemic, we were talking a lot about bourbon.
Well, this time last year, you got to remember, people weren't going into their offices. They weren't going anywhere. They weren't traveling. They weren't doing business travel. They were going nowhere. So what is there to do?
Right.
You've been home with your kids all day. You got your kids in one hand. You're trying to wrestle them. You got to be a Zoom call here. What are you going to do at 4 o'clock? Well, we know
it is.
We know what people did.
I know what I'd be doing. Yes,
Yeah,
and that was. I was telling this a little bit earlier. I may have been like one of the few lives that just didn't have much an effect on the pandemic. My content had an effect because sports at the time weren't going on, but I was still in every day. They were still sending me out to remotes and things like that. So I didn't see that change that a lot of people did. But certainly at the time of the pandemic, the bourbon was still a big thing, and it still is a big thing. But what's on the horizon? What is next? Because we've been down the line of a lot of big things over the past decade.
Well, I think the deal now is there's not an occasion that's taking place that that doesn't have like an alcohol perfectly tailored for it. So whether you're going to the lake or the park or to a family reunion, it doesn't really matter. There's something for you. And, you know, really the different occasions, we've got so many things that are in cans and Tetra Packs and 3-liter boxes and 5-liter boxes. I mean, anything you can think of, there is an alcohol beverage package for it. So we're ready to drink RTD cans. Spirit-based RTDs are really strong, and they're still growing. Bourbon's still growing. Flavored whiskey is actually outpacing straight bourbon.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I would. So, you could have told me, and there's no way that Mark would have said, "Yeah, you know what, flavored whiskey, one of the flavor."
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible.
Look at Crown Peach.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, there was a time where Crown Peach people were waiting at the store. You know, when you got another case of Crown Peach. So, flavored whiskey's growing, and that's introducing, you know, new consumers into the whiskey category, who then will try that and then try other whiskeys. Like I said, cans are growing. Premium, super premium tequila is growing. You look at Celebrity Tequila. You look at like Don Julio 1942. You know, people are realizing like, oh, really smooth aged tequila has got this just beautiful, easy to drink kind of butterscotch flavor that they love. And
is that tequila still out there that was made famous for a moment by virtue of? See, I tell you, I remember what happened in '72, and I can't remember this now.
You remember Ivanhoe's?
Yeah, can you believe that? You know, the HBO show. Hey, Tony, help me out here. That I loved, right? You know,
Avion. I know what you're talking about.
Yes, Avion. Thank you.
Avion.
God. I mean, seriously, how can I remember something in '72 and I can't remember what happened? I mean, I'm a
Avion.
joke.
Ken Austin is the entrepreneur
Yes.
behind Avion,
Yeah.
and he's done several brands. I think he was actually a part of the Terramana branding that The Rock has been doing now with his tequila.
Okay.
And what's crazy about that is, you know, you think about all the hard work it takes to build a brand up, right? You know, all the social media, all the appearances, all the tastings. You can jumpstart that with a celebrity who's got, you know, millions of followers on Instagram with one picture.
Exactly.
Your share of mind, and people are looking for that brand. As long as the juice is good and the package is right, you know, that's probably a strategy I would have scoffed at a few years ago. But now I look at the success of these celebrity brands and I go, you know, that's not a bad. You might be paying a lot of more money up front to get that, but it jumpstarts your brand for sure.
Yes, it's amazing. It's changed a lot, hasn't it, Mark? Since
it sure
1972.
has. It sure has.
You don't remember Ivanhoe's either. I thought I had a really good comment, and it had nothing. It went over like a lead balloon right there. Thought sure you guys would be all about it. But, no, it's awesome. I love, obviously, a big fan of Big Red Liquors forever, and the whole evolution of it has just been with all of you. Incredible.
Well, I'll tell you what, we sure
It really
appreciate it. And you've been a loyal supporter over the years, and you would always talk about going, we affectionately call it store number 7, but that was on the very west side of Bloomington, on your way to Greene County.
It used to be, which store number 7, is that the one at?
It was a drugstore for a long time.
Yeah, that was Highland Village
Highland
IGA.
Village.
Highland Village IGA.
Yeah, right next to it.
Yeah, right there, yes. Those are still the days, which is good, too, because, I mean, yeah, the evolution of it has been amazing. It really has.
It was back in the RCA, Otis Elevator, Westinghouse.
Yes.
All those.
What else we have? Wetterall. Wetterall was out there, too, so no doubt.
Yep.
All right, guys. I appreciate it. Matt, you want to rejoin us a little bit? I want to get deep down into a little alcohol conversation coming up. And we'll stay tight here, obviously, with what we're doing for Future Star Racing, courtesy of Wings and Wheels Foundation. Turn 2 Suites are location at IMS. Sarah Fisher is going to join us. Unser Jr. is going to be here. And, of course, we're going to keep an eye out on what's going on at Westfield for practice number 1 between the Panthers and the Colts. This is 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
It's no secret that the housing market is red hot. Get a leg up on the competition and get pre-approved now. TheHomeLoanExpert.com.
NMLS number 1326-241.
Siri, read me that text.
Sorry, I can't complete your request.
You want me to read that?
No, I got it.
Construction zone.
I see it.
Watch it.
Oh.
Oh Oh my God! You're gonna hit him!
Oh, fuck!
When driving in a construction zone, be smart, be alert, be in the zone.
This is Kelly Watson, business manager of Labor's Local 1112. Everyone deserves a safe place to work. Do your part in the cone zone. Slow down, open your eyes, pay attention.
A message from Indiana's District Council of Laborers International Union of North America and affiliated locals.
Hey, this is John from Forum Credit Union and the student checking account that I'm going to open for Blake. And what a great idea Kevin and the gang have for you. Just in time for the start of school, it is the Forum Credit Union student checking and savings account. You get alerts, you can do some mobile banking, and you can really teach your kids the understanding and the value of coinage right there. I think it's brilliant. In fact, Blake came to me and said, can you open up one? And I said, absolutely. It's easy. The Forum Credit Union student checking account can be opened right now. Stop by one of the branch locations. Tell Kevin that I sent you. For more info, it's online, forumcu.com today.
Hi, my name is John Hassey, and I am owner of Hassey Construction and president of Northwest Indiana Contractors Association. Every year, some unethical construction companies illegally pay workers cash under the table. That puts businesses NUECA represents that provide a good living wage, pay payroll taxes, and employee benefits at a major competitive disadvantage. These companies rob our state of over $405 million every single year. Imagine what could be done for Hoosiers with that money. Please visit indianacip.com/tax fraud to learn how you can take a stand.
Kurt Cavan here from Trackside. Over the years, you trusted me with your sports talk. Now let's talk real estate. I've been in business with Ralph Thorpe and Thorpe Real Estate since my days at the newspaper. And since we're a family-owned company, we can provide better personal service and keep more of your money in your pocket as you buy and sell your home. Give us a call at 317-622-8350. That's 622-8350. At Thorpe Real Estate, we can talk sports while saving you money.
Get through the dog days with Payless Liquors. Pop-Off Vodka is only $8.99 for the half-gallon size. Oliver Sweet Red, White, and Rosé are only $6.99 a bottle. Get your beer for the track. Natty Light and Natty Ice are only $16.99 for the 30-pack. Bud and Bud Light aluminum bottle 15-packs are only $15.99. Big Machine Spike drink pouches are only $17.99 for the 8-pack. And don't forget to impress your friends with Wicked Pickle Whiskey at Payless Liquors. 26 locations, open 7 days a week. Don't pay more, get more, and pay less at Payless Liquors.
The first bet on Caesars Sportsbook app is up to $5,000 risk-free, people. When I told my team about the idea, they said I was being too wonderful and magnificent. But I don't care how awesome this makes me. I'm doing this for the people. So just download the app, and that first bet is up to $5,000 risk-free. Caesar made an app for the people.
Must be 21. Offer valid in Indiana only and for new players. Paid in bet credits. Terms and conditions apply. See Caesars.com/promos. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
PNC Bank believes that if your smartwatch can help you avoid overdoing it during a workout, then your bank should be able to help you avoid an overdraft fee. Introducing Low Cash Mode, available with Virtual Wallet, the financial watch-out that gives you advance warning, multiple options, and at least 24 hours of extra time to help avoid an overdraft fee. Because we believe how you handle overdrafts should be in your control, not just your bank's. And now through September 28th, earn up to $300 when you open and use a select new Virtual Wallet product. Simply establish a qualifying direct deposit. To learn more, visit a branch or pnc.com/checking offer. Virtual Wallet with Low Cash Mode from PNC Bank. One way we're making a difference. Low Cash Mode is a service mark of the PNC Financial Services Group, Incorporated. Virtual Wallet is a registered trademark of the PNC Financial Services Group, Incorporated. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Hey, John here for Andy Moore Buick GMC. That's 131st and State Road 37 in Fishers. Eric Wilson is the guy I want you to talk to because he is going to get you in the set of wheels and give you the best car buying experience possible. Now, the first thing you're going to see construction. Now, frankly, you see construction everywhere, but you're going to see it at 131 and State Road 37. But don't let that send you away because it's easy to get right through, and then you get to the best car buying experience in the state of Indiana. In fact, right now, nearly everything on the lot's 0% for 72 months. Take it and go. If you're looking for a new set of wheels, it's one-stop shopping with Eric Wilson and my friends at Andy Moore Buick GMC. That's 131st and State Road 37 in Fishers.
There's never been a better time to switch to Spectrum Mobile. You could save hundreds of dollars on your mobile bill. Plus, there are no added taxes, hidden fees, and no contracts. Try the Spectrum Mobile Savings Calculator today, and in 3 easy steps, you'll see how much you could save by switching. Visit spectrummobile.com/save. Spectrum Internet required. Savings may vary. Restrictions apply. Visit spectrummobile.com/save for details.
Hey, it's JMV from the Ride with JMV and the JMV Takeover. Saturday night, you need to enjoy the smooth sounds of Yacht Rock Review live at the TCU Amphitheater at White River State Park. Enjoy the laid-back songs of the 70s and the 80s live. Yacht Rock Review this Saturday night. Tickets at livenation.com or at the box office. Enjoy Yacht Rock Review live and then make your request on the JMV Takeover on B105.7 on your way home. Tickets at livenation.com.
The Ride with JMV.
My vision is to take this team as the first franchise to the Saturn Football League and play against 8-foot gargoyles that run 3.8 speed.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, welcome back. Apparently, up in Westfield, we got our first little scuffle. Colts wideout Michael Pittman Jr. and somebody in that Panthers secondary get into it after a Paris Campbell catch and run from Jacob Eason. Nothing more than that. Day number 1 of the joint practice between the Panthers and the Colts going on up at Grand Park in Westfield. We shall keep you updated. They got day number 2 tomorrow. Then, of course, we got the Panthers and the Colts coming up on Sunday, 10 a.m. I will start with you on the Colts pregame show in Touchdown Town at Lucas Oil Stadium coming up on Sunday. Meantime, with Future Star Racing, courtesy of Wings and Wheels Foundation, IMS has got a busy weekend on hand as well. You've got IndyCar, you've got the Xfinity Series racing on Saturday, you've got the Cup Series on Sunday. And joining us now to talk about what we're doing with Future Star Racing, you know her very well, synonymous with racing here in Indianapolis. Of course, owns the karting place over in Speedway, which is awesome. Driver coach for Future Star Racing, Sarah Fisher's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Hello, Sarah. How are you?
Hi, guys. Doing great. Thank you.
It is a fantastic, any day's fantastic day to be out in the suites of Turn 2, but what an incredible weekend. I've asked this of others. Did you ever think you would see a merge, if you will, on a weekend of everything NASCAR and open? Because, like, I grew up in the era like our good friend Robin Miller, who we send out our well wishes to right now. If you would have told him that back in 1990, he might have kicked our ass. You know what I mean? There's just no way something like this were going to occur. But it sounds like a really fun weekend they're about to have out here.
I think so. You know, I know when Mark Miles first joined the IndyCar series and IMS, you know, we talked about it. I don't know, maybe that was like 8 years ago. Maybe I'm short on time, but I know we had talked about it at one point because, you know, I think we have such good leadership and they're always thinking outside of the box and trying to grow our sports. And, you know, to do that together, I think is a good way. And we'll just see how the weekend goes. But I think it's going to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, you talk about growing the sport, too. The driver coach for Future Star Racing. What gets you all excited about doing this? I love the idea that Mark McCallister and the gang came up here with Future Star Racing. What has kind of drawn you to this?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm not the only one, and primarily it's Al Unser Jr. And, you know, we were able to put him in place to go every weekend with these kids and really teach them, you know, all about road racing and you know, the differences, and he's doing an incredible job. So I just come in and have my 2 cents here and there. It's just been a lot of fun. You know, we're up here today at Audubon and, you know, working with Chloe Chambers and Elliot Cox again, and it's just it's really rewarding. I think it's the first time I've had a whole bunch of fun at a track in a long time.
Yeah, I like it because to me, and you would know this too, there are a lot of really good drivers that we never hear of or never get the opportunity because of finances and just don't get that chance. And I love the way that, you know, Future Star Racing goes out and you try to find those that have that dream and have that skill set that want to do it.
Well, I think that was something that we learned really well when Mr. Wink Hartman, And my husband Andy and I got to run Joseph Newgarden for the first time in IndyCar. You know, he was just a really amazing talent from the get-go. And, you know, Mr. Hartman made it so that financing wasn't a problem for Joseph for the first 3 years. And I'll tell you what, those first 3 years, to have someone that's dedicated like Mr. Hartman was, that's exactly what Mr. McCallister, Mark, and Alora are doing here. You know, they're putting an emphasis on continuous training with the same people in a platform where these kids can grow. And so to be a part of that is a no-brainer for me.
All right. You mentioned Chloe a little bit earlier. Talk a little bit about the level of talent that she has.
Chloe's constantly learning. And, you know, when she came on, she'd really only run go-karts. So this is her first transition into kind of the carts to cars kind of program, and she's doing really well. She's very responsive. She's learning a lot from Al. Al's had an incredible amount of training with her, and just the patience there, and just as much as she's learned, it's great to see.
So Sarah Fisher via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, and boy, Joseph Newgarden that's a great example that you give. And I think in the past, far too many, because of the financing that it takes to get involved and really try to push it to that ultimate level, it is so tough. And, you know, you kind of think about those that may have in the past, Sarah, fallen through the cracks and never been seen by virtue of that.
Well, thank goodness for some of these car owners these days that are putting a lot of that behind some of the incredible talent that our series has. I mean, look at Pato O'Ward. How amazing is it to watch that kid run? He's my son's favorite driver, I'll tell you that much. So, you know, it's just really neat to see some of these great talents that are coming along, and the commitment that some of these owners are taking in, you know, longer-term consistency and training.
Sarah Fisher joins us. I know that Speedway karting is going awesome, just a mile away from us right here. I did not know until they told me here. So you just opened up at Daytona, is that correct?
We opened in October of last year, so we're just on top of a year in business down there, and that has been incredible. You know, the folks down at I'm not from NASCAR World, so, you know, I'm so honored that the folks there have been so supportive of our karting center, and it's doing really well. We have good people down there in place too, and hey, it gives Andy and I an excuse to go to Florida once a month.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. I tell you, I was at O'Reilly's doing a show last Friday over in Speedway on Main Street, and you know, your place and everything else, the way that Main Street has transitioned or evolved now is absolutely awesome, because much like, you know, a weekend with NASCAR, the Xfinity Series and IndyCar and Open Wheel merging together, boy, you look at Main Street and it looked completely different if you go back 20 or so years compared to the way that it does now.
Well, I will take one line from Mr. Turner Woodard when he said that the IMS is our jewel to take care of. He's exactly right, you know, and I think as a town, the town of Speedway has done a great job of you know, helping the revitalization in the area, and to have been a part of the first shop at 1255 that we built, you know, for Mr. Hartman, and to see just the area grow, it's a no-brainer to support a facility like IMS. So Andy and I are honored to be a part of that.
All right, Sarah, in closing here, I got a tweet. Ask Sarah about her first time running around Eldora. Really enjoyed it. My daughter got an autograph and became a race fan by virtue of that. So, yes, a little bit about it, Sarah, if you will.
Oh, my first time at Eldora was certainly unlike my last time at Eldora. There's a lot to learn in those winged sprint cars. But that's where my family grew up, and that's the racing that I grew up loving. So, you know, I'm one of those really lucky kids that got to transition from that type of racing to running the Indy 500.
Oh, it's awesome. Thanks for coming on here. Again, Sarah Fisher, driver coach, Future Star Racing, also has the Speedway indoor karting right over there off of Main, and now a location nearly a year old down in Daytona. Sarah is via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Thanks for everything that you do. It's always a great conversation, and we'll look for you over at the karting place sometime again soon, Sarah. Thank you.
Sounds wonderful. Thanks, guys.
Sarah Fisher via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. That is all a part of Future Star Racing, courtesy of Wings and Wheels Foundation. Sarah Fisher Awesome tweet, by the way, right there. All right, we're also, again, keeping that eye on Westfield. And apparently, as what I think a lot of us thought, the left tackle situation in practice against the Panthers is not going well. So we will hit that coming up. Maybe if we could squeeze Brendan King in here with a live update from Westfield, Kyle, in a little bit as well. We shall do that. We are over in the suites in turn 2 with Future Star Racing. My friend Mark McCallister, and we're having a blast talking it up, courtesy of Wings and Wheels Foundation. It's only appropriate on what is going to be a huge racing weekend here around IMS that we're with IMS. And what Mark is doing is fantastic for racing right now, especially finding those that have, giving those, I guess I should say, the opportunity that in large part would not get one at this point. But having a blast doing so. Quick break. We'll come back. The latest from Westfield. Unser Jr. is going to join us. John Rich of Big and Rich is going to join us coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Got Dead & Company tickets for you as well for the Subway Party Deck in September up at Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center. Back with you next.
Turn to the experts at Howald Heating and Carrier for all your cooling needs. Howald Heating, Air, and Plumbing, where coming home never felt so good. Online at howaldheatingandair.com.
Summer is here, so kids, tell your parents about the Forum Credit Union's Sprout of the Month contest, where you could win $100 in a Sprout account. Details at 1075thefan.com.
Hey, John here for LD Smith Plumbing. That's my friend Lance and his local team. If you've got a situation where you need some help, whether it's a minor or a major plumbing fix-up, 317-284-9526. That is the number that you need to call. Believe me, live and local. And I can tell you by experience, handling emergencies like nobody will for you, and that's exactly what you're going to get. I'll give you a great example. Going back to February, coldest day of the year. I'm getting ready to go hoop. Laney's got a basketball game later, I should say, in the morning. I wake up, and there's no water, right? No water. What do? Yes, I'll make that call, 317-284-9526. Lance and his local team at LD Smith Plumbing, they're out there. By 10 a.m., I have water, and everything is back to normal. Emergencies, major or minor situations in plumbing, they're the best for you. That's LD Smith Plumbing, 317-284-9526, online, ldsmithplumbing.com today.
Siri, read me that text.
Sorry, I can't complete your request.
You want me to read that?
No, I got it.
Construction zone.
I see it.
Watch it.
Oh.
Oh my God. You're gonna hit him!
Oh, fuck!
When driving in a construction zone, be smart, be alert, be in the zone.
This is Ward Daniels, business manager of Labor's Local 120. Everyone deserves a safe place to work. Do your part in the cone zone. Slow down, open your eyes, pay attention.
A message from Indiana's District Council of Laborers International Union of North America and affiliated locals.
Oh, while we're in lawn and garden, I was thinking I should pick up one of those little things for watering my plants.
A hose?
No, the things that look like teapots, but for plants. You know, you tip it over and it goes blah, 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 blah.
You're good at describing words you've forgotten.
Like those things that give the plants a shower, you know, that you fill up.
A watering can?
Yes, a watering can. I knew that.
We're good at your insurance. Find an Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
Hey, John, for Diamonds Direct, you got a big birthday gift-giving idea. You got something planned anniversary-wise, or you're getting engaged. Remember, you have to do this thing perfectly, because if you don't, you're going to own it. You're going to wear it negatively forever. So what do? You go to the best place to get it done, nearly, if not completely perfect, and that is Diamonds Direct. The selection is absolutely unmatched anywhere in the state of Indiana. You're going to get that complete diamond education. They're going to tell you things that others won't. They're going to let you in on some things that others won't. They also cut out the middleman, and in that process, that's going to save you a lot of money. Hence, the best price tag on what they have and what you purchase anywhere in the state of Indiana. Compound that with warranties and guarantees. It's one-stop shopping for you. That big gift-giving idea to that engagement ring that has to be perfectly special. It's one place. It's at Diamonds Direct, online at diamondsdirect.com. It's Diamonds Direct, Keystone at the Crossing.
This year, a new tradition will be born at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. NASCAR and IndyCar take on the road course over Brickyard Weekend. Tensions will run high and paint will fly as drivers like Elio, Logano, Jimmy, Bubba, Newgarden, Elliott, and more battle it out to be crowned rulers of the road. Don't miss the Midsummer Mayhem at the racing capital of the world. It's where history will be made and where racing never stops. August 13th through the 15th. Tickets at IMS.com.
Why is Culver's such a treat for so many families? Here's a hint. This treat is thick and creamy, and everyone can get it any way they like. Our fresh, frozen custard. We craft it in small batches throughout the day to make our guests stay, using fresh dairy from America's family farms. Shakes, cones, sundaes, concrete mixers, flavor of the day, oh, and the toppings.
Who says you can't please everyone? There's more than one way to dessert at Culver's. Welcome to Delicious.
At Culver's, we cook our butter burgers pretty much the same as you would at home. Only the freshest beef will do. We're talking the highest quality 3-cut blend, no shortcuts. Got it? Great. Then you'll need to master our signature press and sear technique. This is crucial. You may want to practice a few thousand times. Add real Wisconsin cheese, because why would you have cheese from anywhere else? Top with a lightly buttered toasted bun. Serve yourself with a big warm smile.
Better yet, come to Culver's and leave the whole cook-to-order butter burger thing to us. Welcome to Delicious.
You need a work schedule that fits your life, and Amazon has shifts that help make the best use of your time. Whether you're a night owl, early bird, weekend warrior, or somewhere in between, discover the benefits of thinking outside the 9 to 5. You decide whether to seize the day or the night so you can get back to what matters most. Go to amazon.com/shifts to learn more. That's amazon.com/SHIFTS. Amazon is an equal opportunity employer.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. Home values all around the nation are skyrocketing. Just take a look and see what some of the houses in your neighborhood are selling for. You have a lot more equity than you think. Well, with mortgage interest rates in the 2s and home values at record highs, now is the perfect time for a cash-out refinance. How much money can you save? Let's find out now. TheHomeLoanExpert.com.
The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
Hey, it's JMV. Enjoy the smooth sounds of Yacht Rock Review this Saturday live at the TCU Amphitheater at White River State Park. Tickets at livenation.com or at the box office.
The Colts open the preseason against the Carolina Panthers. Coverage Sunday morning at 10 on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
I want you out in front of the school with her. I'd like to have a few words with you, by God.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Turn 2 Suites are location. Future Star Racing, courtesy of Wings and Wheels Foundation. I'm JMV. Thank you for joining us. Brendan King's going to join us in just a second up from Colts camp in Westfield. Panthers and Colts going at it right now. I got a quick email, JMV at 1070thefan.com. JMV, I just had a bourbon at 1933 Lounge I've never seen in retail stores. Would you ask the guys, specifically Cole Glazier from Big Red, if they have Elijah Craig toasted? That's from Bruce Kidd. Elijah Craig toasted.
Toasted. Well, he should just email me personally.
Personally, we can set it up, right?
Yeah.
Of course we can find it for you.
Yeah, of course.
As you can find anything. You more than just occasionally have somebody.
Every once in a while.
Yeah, every once in a while.
In my office, every once in a while. I might have a few special things every once in a while.
Well, people say all the time this, and the Cask Strength location, the one that's around me, Fry Road, down on 31 is incredible.
Yeah.
It has absolutely
it's a great
everything. Mm-hmm. Now, how often, if ever, do you ever get stumped on anything?
On product?
Yeah.
No.
Never.
I mean,
never.
I don't know. You can try to ask me a question. I would.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't. I mean, I wouldn't try to stump you. I'm just curious if you've ever been stumped and had to.
Yeah, I mean, I have Google too, but.
Cole Glazier.
I've seen every product deck in the last 10 years. I mean, I take every meeting, so.
Right.
And I love it, actually. I mean, it's so cool to see all the new and interesting things that come out, especially last year.
So Gary Harris, who plays for the Orlando Magic, his dad's a big-time listener to this show, and all I got in a text regarding the Elijah Craig Toasted is, me too.
Yeah.
So him too.
That was great.
Yeah.
This is how it happens.
It's how it happens,
Yeah.
right? Me too.
I've got a bunch of Pappy in my office. If somebody,
Oh, no.
just email me.
Oh, did you really? Now I'm going to get bombarded with
just
stuff
shoot me
now.
an email. I bring a Pappy to your show every week. You don't even drink it. You kind of stock it up.
People will be staking out
you
my
put it
front
in your
yard.
corner, and it just sits there.
All right. Hey, we got to kill Cole Glazer's mic. Would you right there? We'll bring you back in just a second, Matt. Hang tight. Brendan King's joining us live from Westfield, the side of Colts camp, the first joint practice with the Panthers. Hey, Brendan, how are things going up there? I heard there was a scuffle, but maybe most importantly, what we all thought was going to be a struggle has been a struggle at left tackle.
That's right, John, and it's one of those Indiana days where the wind is howling and you can smell the rain coming. Now, Kevin Bowen and I are splitting up the duties today. He is watching the Colts offense against the Panthers defense. I'm watching the Panthers offense against the Colts defense, but you're right. The injury bug just continues at left tackle, but on a defensive side, too, Kwity Paye has joined the boot club. He's got a boot on his foot, and DeForest Buckner and Julian Blackmon, neither of them are practicing today, John.
All right, so how's the quarterback situation looking so far?
Eason and Ellinger splitting it up, John. Neither, I don't think, have done anything spectacularly so far. On the flip side, too, former Colt and XFL stud P.J. Walker, he's Sam Darnold's backup right now. So it'll be interesting, especially over tomorrow, heading into Sunday, to see if Eason or Ellinger kind of break away from one another at all.
Yeah, and I think Carolina's got a couple of Indiana kids as a part of it, too, right? So.
Yeah, Jeremy Chin, the Fishers High School alum, he's on that Carolina side. And if you're a Notre Dame fan, Tommy Tremble, who was like the Swiss Army knife for the Irish for a couple years, he's on the Carolina side too. And, you know, John, watching Christian McCaffrey for the first time too, there's that saying where sometimes you watch kids in baseball and their bat just sounds different when they hit the ball. McCaffrey, when he runs, it just looks different. The guy is bouncy as all hell. I mean, really impressive.
You got it. Brendan, sit tight. We'll check back in with you hopefully before the end of the show. Thanks for the update, man.
Thanks, John.
Brendan King, Colts camp, joint practice number 1 between the Panthers and the Colts. We're in the second turn suite. We are with Future Star Racing, courtesy of Wings and Wheels Foundation. John Rich, Big and Rich, bottom of the hour. More from Cole Glazier. He's going to be even more funny in the 5 o'clock hour. I can't wait for that. Thank you, buddy. And then coming up here on the other side, Unser Jr. is going to be here, too, and can't wait for that conversation. 5 o'clock hour we go on 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
Hey, Indiana drivers, Unleaded 88 fuel can now be found at a pump near you. Unleaded 88 is a high-octane fuel blend that costs less than standard fuel blends. And if you have a yellow gas cap, use E85, a high-octane fuel that helps boost horsepower and enhance engine performance. Now you can fill up your vehicle with fuels that are great for your engine, great for the environment, and great for your wallet. To find a pump near you, visit UNL88.com or download the free Gas Buddy app today. This message brought to you by Indiana corn farmers and their checkoff.
Hey, John here for Big Red Liquors. Big Red Liquors with their 59 locations in Indiana. And this great deal. Remember last month in July it was about the Big Green Egg, and they're still giving away great prizes in the month of August. In fact, 6 solo stoves. And you might ask what a solo stove is. Well, it's great for a campsite. It is great for a backyard patio. It is the world's greatest smokeless stove, the Solo Stove, and they're giving away 6 of those. No purchase necessary, but you do got to be 21. Just slide by any of the 59 Indiana Big Red Liquors locations and sign up to win the Solo Stove today. All right, it's a Thursday night, so you're already getting ready for tonight, if not getting ready for your party weekend. It's always your stop to make sure that you're prepared. But make sure you sign up for the Solo Stove. They're giving away 6 in the month of August with Big Red Liquors. That's Big Red Liquors, the 59 Indiana locations. And for more info, it's online, bigredliquors.com today.
Summer happens at Speedway because everything you need for summer happens at Speedway. Like drinks. Drinks happen. The freshly brewed drink, the splashed over ice drink, the wake you up drink, the cool you off drink, the make your brain hurt for a minute drink. All poured however you want them, whenever you want them, all summer long. So on every hot day, you have something cold to sip. Speedway, summer happens here. And now, get any size fountain or Speedy Freeze for just 89 cents. Excludes maximum.
Summertime, and the refi is easy. With home values soaring and interest rates at a historic low 2.25%, now is the time to let Golden Oak Lending help you tap into your growing home equity. But home values this high and rates this low won't be around forever. Visit GoldenOakLending.com today and enjoy the feeling of summer all year long.
NMLS 114937, 2.25% fixed, 3.195% APR. FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
Hey, JMV here. I know that your cooling unit is being tested right now for real. Now, we're going to get a break this weekend, but you probably know right now just how your system is running. And if you got some questions about it, if you're losing comfort or if you feel that it's costing you more money by working inefficiently, call John and Chris Love at 317-353-2141. They'll give it the once-over, a checkup, and then figure out if you do need to get a different system. You're going to find the best prices anywhere at 317-353-2141. Hey, at the very least, you're going to have peace of mind that you're going to stay comfortable in your home. And if it's not working accurately or inefficiently, then they're going to fix that up with the best. It's Love Heating and Air, 317-353-2141, online, love-hvac.com today.
Every game has 1,000 storylines. So if you've got an angle, a hunch, or some info you got from that guy in 10 fantasy leagues across the street, Unibet's got that bet. Unibet Sportsbook has all the bets you need for every game. Sign up now to get $500 risk-free. Download the app or visit in.unibet.com. Unibet Sportsbook. Crazy about the odds. Must be 21 or over to play and physically located in Indiana. Restrictions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
The Sheriff is now going to the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
That would be former Indy Colts QB Peyton Manning.
And now fans can get a piece of that induction day and help out the Peyton Manning Children's Hospital at Ascension St. Vincent with a limited edition framed 15 by 17-inch photo collage for just $99.
Only 2,021 framed pieces will be produced.
Don't get left out.
This'll sell fast.
To order, call 800-345-2868.
That's 800-345-2868 or visit NICOsports.com.
That's NIKCO sports.com.
Honey, we're gonna make it.
We're gonna make it? We're gonna make it!
I just said
we're gonna make it!
Fill your tank with Amoco Ultimate with Invigorate and keep on moving. Amoco Ultimate with Invigorate at BP and Amoco stations.
When you sign up for BP Me Rewards, you can get 5 cents off every gallon of gas every time at BP or Amoco stations. That means more savings and more whatever you'd like to use your savings on. So treat yourself. It's on us. Visit bp.com/save to learn more.
I'm Greg Gossett, President and CEO of ERPCO, your complete electrical systems and automation contractor. While you may recognize us from some of the highest profile projects in Indianapolis, did you know that we also perform residential work? Storm season is upon us, so keep your family safe with a home generator installed by the experts from ERPCO. Contact our service team. You'll be glad you did. Visit the ERPCO website at erpco.com for more information. We're a quality connection contractor. Quality work, customer connected.
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
WIBC HD2, W298BB, WIBC HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
Soccer Saturday featuring Indy 11. If this is your football, this is your show. Saturday at 9 on The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Oh, wait just a minute. Did anybody knock anymore?
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
Hey, welcome back, Turn 2. We're in the suites with our friends Mark McCallister and Future Star Racing, courtesy of Wings and Wheels Foundation. Hey, quick update. Jim Irsay is meeting with the media right now up in Westfield. Again, that is practice number 1, jointly between Carolina and the Colts. We'll get an update on that. And I mentioned a little bit earlier that Jim was actually on Dan Patrick this morning and kind of I thought maybe squashed or tried to squash a little bit the notion that it was absolute, and that's what a lot of Colts fans were thinking, that the whole fast track on being ready for week number 1 for Carson Wentz with that Mortensen report yesterday kind of seems like on Dan Patrick earlier he was speaking regarding that, and we'll see if he's doing so right now as he is presently meeting with the media up at Grant Park in Westfield, and we shall keep you updated. But joining us now via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, former Indy 500 champion, director of competition for Future Star Racing, and like me, a friend of our good friend Robin Miller. It's Unser Jr. joining us now. You know, when we go to like Workingman's Friend or something like that, inevitably when we're with Robin Miller, your name always comes up, and it's always awesome. And I know that R's going through some really bad stuff right now. And as always, I wanted to begin our conversation and talk about what R has meant to open wheel and specifically IndyCar, and just some well wishes, Al, to our good friend Robin Miller and what he's going through health-wise right now.
Hey, well, thanks for having us on. Yeah, I mean, Robin has been covering the 500 ever since I was a rookie and so on. And so I've only known him to do all the riding for IndyCar. And he's such a great man. He just, you know, like it or not, he tells the truth. And Robin has always done that his entire career. And you know, our hearts and our prayers go out to him and everyone that he's involved with. And so, yeah, we hope that he has a speedy recovery.
Al Unser Jr. joins us. Could not have said that better myself. And we're with Mark McCallister and the gang here of Future Star Racing. You're the director of competition. What do you like so much about what has been put together here, Al?
Well, I just love the fact of Mark's vision on what he wants to do in racing. You know, he loves racing. He wanted to get involved at the level that he's at with helping young adults who really don't have the opportunities and so on to get past the go-karting with their parents. And so, you know, Mark and Laura, that their vision is just to really help individuals of you know, low income or diversity to help them get to that next level, especially when they've got all the talent in the world and the only thing that they lack is the funding. And so the Wings and Wheels Foundation, that's its main purpose, is to go out and really just help the young adults get an opportunity that everybody else has, basically, and to be a part of this is just a dream come true for me, because you know, in my life and my career, I'm at a point now where I just want to pass on what was passed on to me by my father and my uncle, and so. To have this opportunity is just a true blessing.
Al Unser Jr., former 500 champion, of course, director of competition for Future Star Racing. What's your message to these young drivers and what you hope to convey informationally to them?
Well, the main word is just perseverance. Just stay at it. You know, this industry is full of ups and downs, and you know, you can be champ one day and chump the next, you know, and so just keep your chin up and keep trying hard, and when you put in that effort and you put in that hard work, it eventually comes around to be successful. And so just never give up. Always keep your chin up and just keep moving forward.
It's Al Unser Jr. with us. I talked to Sarah Fisher about this, and then Ernie Francis Jr., who's a part of this as well, who's just done such a great job at a young age. And, you know, often, Al, these things, you get a lot of these talents that get lost in the shuffle. I mean, we've been fortunate, for example, like a guy like Tony Stewart, you know, got a little help. But, I mean, there have been others that may have been able to reach that particular level, or at least compete at that level, that never made it. And that's what really makes Future Star Racing and the program you guys are putting together so special.
That's exactly it. You hit it right on the nail. You know, there's so many young adults out there that have all the talent in the world, and they just don't have that lucky break. And so, you know, Mark's vision is to try to provide that with the kids that have the talent and they want to go forward. They want to work hard. They put everything into it. And if we can just equal their efforts and show them that their efforts are valuable along with ours, and we can just, have successful team.
Hey, what do you think about and it's amazing because we were talking about this earlier too. This is a big weekend here at IMS because you have a merge of IndyCar, the Xfinity Series, and of course the Cup all weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Do you think this is a direction where racing needs to go, to have more of these crossover weekend events like is about to take place here in Indy this weekend?
Well, this is definitely a first, with NASCAR, with the Cup cars, the Xfinity, and the Indy cars. I mean, these are the top series in all of America, and they're joining forces on one iconic racetrack, which is the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And so, yeah, that's a possibility. I think everybody's going to learn what this weekend is going to actually provide to the fans and the teams and the sponsors, and I think it's a wonderful thing, that everybody's joining forces in one common goal, which is auto racing in North America at its most elite.
It's Unser Jr. on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, Director of Competition for Future Star Racing. We're out at IMS in Turn 2 in the suites today. Before I let you go, I could not let you go without asking you about the iconic call, your win in 1992, and the loss that we had early in the week in the voice, the man of Bob Jenkins, and what he meant to you, because that is one of the go-to calls of all time in racing. The passing of Bob Jenkins and the effect and what that meant to you earlier this week, Al.
Yeah, I was just deeply saddened with when I heard about it. It was my stepdad, Mike Devin, who told me about it, and I just my heart sank, because really that race in itself made lifelong friends of mine with Scott Goodyear and myself. It's kept us connected throughout our entire lives. Along the same way with myself and Bob Jenkins. Bob Jenkins, we did a lot of things together there, especially in the last few years with different kind of talks and get-togethers, and he was just a wonderful man, and I just him and I were lifelong friends from that day forward of the 92 500, and so I was deeply saddened, and just my heart and prayers go out to his family.
Yeah, it's his voice, and as an ambassador of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the Indy 500 just had such an amazing impact. It really did, Al.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, he's right up there with Tom Carnegie.
Yep, I completely agree. Al Unser Jr., Director of Competition for Future Star Racing. I am so glad that you're with this group. These are a great group of folks, and Mark McCallister is the salt of the earth right here. So I am so happy that you're involved in this. Keep it going, and whenever you want to stop in and jump on the show, we'd be more than happy to have you.
You got it. Thank you so much. And, yeah, I'm truly blessed to have Mark and Alora in my life, for sure.
Yeah. Al, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Al Unser Jr., the Director of Competition for Future Star Racing via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. We are in Turn 2 in the suites with Future Star Racing, courtesy of Wings and Wheels Foundation. We'll get the latest on what Jim Irsay is talking about up at Colts Camp today, Grand Park and Westfield. We've got John Rich from Big and Rich coming up at the bottom of the hour, and any beverage questions you might have for the foremost authority in the beverage category at Big Red Liquors, our friend Matt Kohlglazer is here as well. Can answer those via at JMV 1070 on Twitter or JMV at 1070thefan.com. Let us take a break. We shall return, maybe even with an update from Brendan King from Westfield. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
Summertime, and the refi is easy. With home values soaring and interest rates at a historic low 2.25%, now is the time to take advantage of a cash-out refinance from Golden Oak Lending. Your home is worth more than you think. Golden Oak Lending can help you tap into your growing home equity and pay off debts. Our average cash-out customer saves $904 a month. Woo-hoo! And remember, at Golden Oak, we speak mortgage. So if terms like cash-out refinance and no-cost appraisal make your heart race and palms sweat, don't worry. Our local lending experts love translating for our customers. But just like the warm weather, home values this high and rates this low won't be around forever. Visit us at goldenoaklending.com today and enjoy the feeling of summer all year long.
NMLS 114937, 2.25% fixed, 3.195% APR, FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
The Indiana union construction industry remains focused on getting the job done and keeping our communities running. We all look forward to getting back on track. For over 100 years, our contractors and skilled tradesmen and women built and maintained Indiana's hospitals, highways, bridges, schools, and utilities, essential infrastructure that keeps our state moving forward during all conditions. And with safety as a top priority, we're ready for whatever it takes to rebuild our economy. We built Indiana's past, and we'll be there to build Indiana's future. The Indiana Union Construction Industry. Value on display every day.
Hi, I'm Jason Smith at the Heat and Frost Insulators Local 18. Installing, repairing, or retrofitting insulation on your mechanical system saves money. And no one does it better than us. If you need a contractor, we're on the web at insulators18.org. Skilled on principle, union by choice.
Hey, it's JMV here for FanDuel Sportsbook. Baseball returns to its roots coming up tonight, right? New York and Chicago, the cornfields of Iowa. Make the most out of this historic game with FanDuel Sportsbook and its $5 field of dingers. Just, well, $25 on a same-game parlay with at least 3 legs to unlock a $5 bonus for every home run hit during the game. That is tonight. Now, if you haven't tried FanDuel Sportsbook just yet, your first bet is risk-free up to $1,000. Again, risk-free up to $1,000. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Use the promo code JMV. FanDuel Sportsbook app, promo code JMV. That's 21 plus and present in Indiana. Minimum bet $25, max bonus $35. First online real money wager for risk-free bet. Refund and bonus issued is non-withdrawable side credit that expires in 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
This year, a new tradition will be born at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. NASCAR and IndyCar take on the road course over Brickyard Weekend. Tensions will run high and paint will fly as drivers like Elio, Logano, Jimmy, Bubba, Newgarden, Elliott, and more battle it out to be crowned rulers of the road. Don't miss the Midsummer Mayhem at the racing capital of the world. It's where history will be made and where racing never stops. August 13th through the 15th. Tickets at IMS.com.
So then I dropped some garlic and croutons on there, and the rest is salad history. I made the best salad ever, people, and now I'm making the best app. The Caesar Sportsbook app got live in-game betting, parlays, and Caesar rewards. Caesar salad ain't got nothing on my app. Nothing!
Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. Download the Caesar Sportsbook app. Your app is ready, Emperor.
In St. Pete, Clearwater, Florida, let your senses be your guide. Follow the incredible aroma of outdoor dining under a starlit night. Or see the sunset over the Gulf, painting a magnificent orange and red sky. Feel the gentle breeze on a leisurely stroll along the new St. Pete Pier. Or let every sense come alive at the Salvador Dali Museum. Sounds like it's time for a fall getaway. You can sense it. Plan your fall escape to America's best beaches at visitstpeteclearwater.com.
Hey, I'm Piper. Here's my deal. I like to strike when the iron's hot. At Bill Estes Chevy, they've got hot deals, so I'm on my way into their cool showroom. Right now, get $7,000 off the new Equinox, $5,000 off the new Traverse, and $3,000 more for your trade. With 55 pre-owned vehicles for less than $20,000, I know I'll find a car that makes me happy. $7,000 off the Equinox, $5,000 off the Traverse, and $3,000 more for your trade. At Bill Estes Chevy, they take my budget and get me more. I-465 and Michigan Road, the friendliest intersection in Indy.
Hey, it's PAI, WeGrowHairAndy.com. If you want your real growing hair again, in fact, mine's absolutely out of control right now. Out of control. I was thinking about a haircut, but then I was thinking, I could go back to the whole Hair Nation days back in the late 80s and feel really good about it. That's what PAI has done for me. Real growing hair again with technology you would not believe until you talk to Darren Andrews about it at 888-724-5129. Your real growing hair again. You can have it, and it's real. 888-724-5129 or WeGrowHairAndy.com today.
Hi, this is Ryan Newman, NASCAR Cup Series driver and champion for a great cause, driven to save lives and organ donation. Look, what I do is dangerous, and nobody's invincible, but we can all do something incredible to save the lives of others. That's why I want you to take a moment and register yourself as an organ donor, like me, at driventosavelives.org. You might just become somebody's real hero.
Save your seats for Indy 11's August home games now at Indy11.com. IBEW Local 481 presents the 11 versus OKC Energy Saturday, August 14th, featuring $4 beers and an $11 meal deal. Come back to Carroll Stadium Saturday, August 28th, when Indiana's team pays tribute to an adopted Hoosier legend on Bob Ross Night. Visit the tickets section of Indy11.com for seating options, including the new Heineken Party Deck. Then manage your seats and more inside the Indy 11 app.
Sports Center updates on the Fan are brought to you by Big O Tires. It's the Big O Tires anniversary sale now through September 6th. Save up to $150 off a set of Big O brand tires. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
The Ride with JMV.
You're going to eat your fat.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Future Star Racing has us here, courtesy of Wings and Wheels Foundation. We're in the Turn 2 suites. Mark McCallister and our friends from Future Star Racing. Jim Irsay meeting with the media up in Westfield. Again, the first practice of the Panthers and the Colts going on, and Jim met with the media. Now, to me, this is probably to help squash that timeline that earlier that Jim went on Dan Patrick and kind of went out of his way as well to what I think is to squash any sort of timeline that is created or was created yesterday regarding the return by week 1 of Colts quarterback Carson Wentz. And according to Mike Wells on his Twitter, it is a quote, "I want you at 100%. We want to see him healthy in 2 months, in 2 years, 4 years," end quote. So definitely doubling back and trying to squash a lot of that trending for week number 1. Chris Morton's from report from yesterday. What's going on with this? That was weird. Was that you that just did that gave me the – oh, that was sweet right there. Thank you very much. Again, we'll keep you updated on what's going on up in Westfield. All right, we got Matt Colglazier here. Before I hit another break and we get to John Rich of Big and Rich coming up at the bottom of the hour, most often asked question of you as far as beer or spirits might be concerned.
You got any Blantons?
What's that?
You got any Blantons?
You got any Blantons?
You got any Blantons?
You may have to explain it for those of us
Blanton's
that aren't
Bourbon.
In the know.
Yeah, that's the number one
That's
asked question. People come to the store.
Got any Blantons?
You got any Blantons?
Every time.
Every time.
So what, why? What makes it so often asked?
You know, it's the same thing we were talking about. It's the zombie dust effect.
Yes.
People who say, hey, I just know that Blanton's is good. I saw it at a bar. Somebody told me I had it one time and I can't find it. And I know it's good and I'm asking for it. So that's what happens all the time.
It's weird because, remember, we had a remote in Broad Ripple with you guys at Big Red Liquors. Man, that's 4 or 5 years ago, and you guys had just the bare minimum of zombie dust that you had for purchase, and it was a line out the door.
I know.
And do you remember somebody actually dropped a bottle and broke it, and there was a gasp like this? I mean, it was it had an audible gasp.
Most purchased item, would you have a guess?
Most purchased would be, I don't know.
Fireball 50 ml.
Really?
We sell 1,200 Fireball 50 mLs every day.
Why?
We sell 500,000 plus airplane bottles.
What is the demographic?
For people who don't. Demographic?
Yeah, well, I mean, what's
human beings.
Human beings?
Yes.
Is that
every single person? It's a number one bought item with a 30 rack of Bush. So if you can't kill a 30 rack of bush, on a hot summer day in Greene County with like six,
I got you.
with like 6 fireball shooters, you're just not living right.
Man, that's awesome.
So that's what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, fireball.
goes down easy, man. You know what I mean?
People love it. So smooth.
Goes down easy.
Yeah.
Matt Koglazer, Big Red Liquors, is with us. Future Star Racing is where we are with, I should say. We are in turn 2 in the suites. Quick break. We'll come back. Big and Rich, John Rich is going to join us, and more to come, including the race of the day and your chance to win a 50-50 split of betting and dining at Harrah's Hoosier Park in Anderson. That's coming up on 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
Summer is here, so kids, tell your parents about the Forum Credit Union's Sprout of the Month contest, where you could win $100 in a Sprout account. Details at 1075thefan.com.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Patriot Heating and Air. Owned and operated by veteran Rob Moran, who says you need to think about the long-term savings when buying a new furnace and air conditioner.
I had a customer who'd been a long-time customer actually buy from someone else because they were about $200 cheaper. He called me out about 7 months later because his new equipment from another manufacturer was not working properly. It was installed improperly.
Get the job done right the first time with Patriot Heating and Air, 317-889-4360. They're your trusted local independent American Standard dealer.
When it comes to working at Geico, our best advocates are our employees, like Justina. But since she is so focused on growing her career, we hired an actor to read her story.
At Geico, I receive support from those above me. If you want to move up, you really have that relationship and encouragement.
As a full-time employee, she can even get paid training and tuition reimbursement. Yep, there's no stopping her now. She's even taken over book club.
Ready to start your career, Indy? We're hiring claim sales and service agents. Apply online today at geico.job/Indy.
My crusade for the perfect pizza crust has led me here, pining over a backyard wood-fired oven. But how do I bake this build into my budget? Where can I get some solid guidance on my finances? Who can help me understand if I have the dough for this?
A little financial advice. At Regions, we know that's important because your Life Green checking account comes with Greenprint, financial planning with a banker who will help you create a personal budget and live in the moment. Make your appointment at regions.com/Greenprint. Regions Bank, member FDIC.
Here you go, the Harrah's Hoosier Park race of the day, 50-50, dining and betting. That's the VIP pack, the Harrah's Hoosier Park in Anderson. We do this Wednesday through Friday right here, and somebody is going to win, and here's how it goes. Miss Wiggy, Brian Bice gets that. King credit goes to Steve. Jordan Moran gets Swan Prodigy. Ryan Stoltz has Fashion Hall. It is Stuka getting, JF is getting Stuka. It is Charlotte Rambo going to Patrick Wright. David Kahn gets CN22 FR Dan. And Brian Ward has Starlet Dandy. There's your lineup. It is the Harrah's Hoosier Park race of the day. Good luck.
The following is presented by the Indiana Standard Bred Breed Development Program. From Harrah's Hoosier Park Racing and Casino, it's time for the Harness Race of the Day on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
They are up on a break prior to the start. CN Toot for Dan. Moving up for the lead, Swan Prodigy, Starlet Rambo quickly away, and Stuka is right there to be third. Next is Starlet Dandy in fourth, followed by King Credit and Fashion Hall. Long way back to CN Toot for Dan after that early issue, and the field now moves on the turn. And the leader is Starlet Rambo, and Brandon Bates will set the pace, moving through the opening quarter in 30 seconds. Second is Swan Prodigy, and then it's a length and a half to Stuka, who races third. A further 2 to Starlet Dandy in fourth, and another 2 lengths back of that, King Credit. Fashion Hall is sixth, and still way back to CN Toot for Dan. Field continuing up the backstretch, and the leader remains Starlet Rambo. Starlet Rambo there by a length. Swan Prodigy races in second, and then Stuka is third. Starlet Dandy races fourth as they go by the half in 1:01. Moving on to the far turn, and Starlet Rambo now getting some separation. In front by 3 lengths. Second is Swan Prodigy trying to keep pace and not having much success at that. 5 lengths back to Stuka in third, and then Starlet Dandy is racing fourth. Another 3 back to King Credit, and then Fashion Hall, as Starlet Rambo now has opened up a 6-length lead. Three-quarter time, 1:30, and it's Starlet Rambo setting sail for home in front by 9. Swan Prodigy is second. Starlet Dandy is into third. Passing the 8th pole with a big lead is Starlet Rambo. That lead about 10 lengths. Second is Swan Prodigy, and then Starlet Dandy, but Starlet Rambo is gone. Goodbye. Going to dominate here in the Wednesday opener. Starlet Dandy and Swan Prodigy. It looks like Starlet Dandy will be up in time for second, but that's a photo for the second position between those two. Fourth was Fashion Hall in 1:58 and 4.
Just minutes from Indy off I-69 in Anderson, Harrah's Hoosier Park has standard bred horse racing through December 4th, thanks in part to the Indiana Standard Bred Breed Development Program. And keep listening for your chance to win with the Harrah's Hoosier Park Harness Race of the Day on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, it's JMV. Enjoy the smooth sounds of Yacht Rock Review this Saturday, live at the TCU Amphitheater at White River State Park. Tickets at livenation.com or at the box office.
The NTT IndyCar Series races on the IMS Road Course. Coverage Saturday morning at 11 on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Smokey, this is not Nam. This is bowling. There are rules.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Shout out to Patrick Wright, the winner of today's race of the day. Harrah's Hoosier Park Racing and Casino in Anderson, 50-50 VIP prize pack. It was Starlet Rambo, the win. The pay was $220. The place was $210. The show was $210. Starlet Dandy was the place $320. The show was $220. And Swan Prodigy showed at $620. The $2 exacta payout, $4.50 trifecta payout, $435. That's the Harrah's Hoosier Park race of the day. Mark McCallister back with us. Matt Colglazier with us. Of course, we are here with Future Star Racing, and that's a courtesy of Wings and Wheels Foundation. And to join Matt, Mark, and I with more from Big and Rich, musician John Rich via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Hello, John. How are you?
Hey, good afternoon, guys. How are you doing?
I should also say Whiskey Man, too. Redneck Riviera. How is that going, John, to this point?
I'll put it this way. I'm the guy you give me a call, man. we are doing great with it. Redneck Riviera whiskey has now landed in pretty much every state in the United States. It's American blended whiskey, which I was always a Crown Royal guy, which is Canadian blended. And I said, you know what? America needs its own blended whiskey. But that's what Redneck Riviera is. And one of the biggest things we do, and Big Red Liquors has been behind me since the very beginning, is I give 10% of the profits to Folds of Honor, which is an organization that puts kids through college who lost a parent in combat fighting for our country. And to date, this is a big number. To date, Redneck Riviera whiskey has now funded over 140 college scholarships for those kids.
That is awesome. Well, congratulations on that. And Mark McCallister is with us right here, Mark, and John Rich is joining us with the Redneck Riviera.
John, how you doing?
Man, I'm doing great. How are you?
Well, everything's good. Before we go on in this interview at all, though, I'm sitting here looking at a Redneck Riviera, and I'm sitting here also looking at a Granny Rich Reserve. Which should I pour?
Woo! Well, I'll tell you what. So the Granny Rich Reserve is named after my Granny Rich, of course, World War II generation, the greatest generation. It is 4 years older and a little more octane in that one. So it depends on what you're wanting to drink. If you want a whiskey with a splash of Coke, I would drink the regular Redneck. If you want whiskey neat or on the rocks, I'd go with the Granny. So it just depends on what you're looking for.
Granny's in the glass, and it's over
go.
Rocks.
I love it. That's how I
Cheers.
drink it, too.
Cheers to everybody. Right. This is how you have a good radio show, John, is you do this right here, man. It is.
Absolutely.
You add it and you drink it. Matt Colglazier of Big Red Liquors is also here, John. Matt, go ahead.
Hey, John, how you doing?
Hey,
you're
doing
definitely
good, Matt.
Good. You're definitely right about the Crown Royal reference. You know, it's for that drinker that just wants something smooth and easy to drink. It's got a nice kind of, it's got that oak and fruitiness to it, but that sweet vanilla and honey, and it just goes down smooth. I hadn't had that Granny Rich in a minute, and that's really, really nice.
It's so good. I mean, I'm glad you guys enjoy it. I spent a long time working on this blend, I'm kind of the same way. I don't like whiskey that bites or burns too much. I like the easy stuff. If I'm going to drink it, hang out with my buddies like you guys are doing, I just want it to be easy, leave a good flavor on my tongue, and let's sip it again, right? So Redneck Riviera whiskey, I mean, Big Red, you guys have been behind me and behind this brand literally since the very beginning. And, it's awesome to know that the work hard, play hard crowd up there in Indiana can get their hands on this stuff at your store. You guys have sold so much of my whiskey. It wouldn't shock me if Big Red alone is probably responsible for at least 2 of those scholarships that we've already provided through Folds of Honor. So thank you guys for your support.
It is absolutely amazing. I can attest to this, John, in closing, that these guys are awesome. I've known Big Red Liquors, and I turned 21. Well, I knew it before that, but, yeah, I turned 21 in 1991, and I know the legend, and it is spectacular. Hey, before I let you go, I did want to ask you what's going on in the world of music for you at present time.
Well, we were supposed to be playing a concert there next week, and literally this morning we got a phone call, and they have decided, I don't know if it's going to be canceled or if it's postponed, but it's not going to happen as it was supposed to. Man, our country is so you can't count on anything right now, it seems like, and I'm really upset that the show is not going to happen. But we will be back. I can promise you that. And in the meantime, Big Red's got you hooked up. I was going to come into a Big Red store and sign a bunch of bottles of Redneck Riviera whiskey, but we're going to have to hold on that until the next time I'm in town. So I appreciate you guys so much. You're the best.
Hey, John, thank you very much for the Redneck Riviera and everything, and we'll get you back on here again soon. That's John Rich of Big and Rich via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Mark McCallister, thank you, brother. You are awesome. Thanks for having us out here today.
Hey, John.
Awesome.
Anytime that we're together with you makes that day just a little better.
Do it again.
Thank you so much,
My
buddy.
man Koglazer's awesome here, too, as well, man. It's good to see Tony. Norm was awesome, too. Shout out to Sarah Fisher, Unser Jr., a little bit earlier, too. Ernie Francis Jr., Brendan King, and Mike Chappell of CBS 4 and Fox 59. Tomorrow, I am downtown at District Tap. We got stuff to give away for Join Us coming up tomorrow for that. Thank you very much to my man Cam, Kyle, back at the studio. Great job from you. We're going a little bit earlier today because we got some catching up to do with the Colts Daily Update. We'll give you the full disclosure on what took place in Westfield coming up on tomorrow's show, and a great Friday edition for you. Thank you, Future Star Racing, courtesy of Wings and Wheels Foundation. I'm going to go after some whiskey right now and leave it up to the rest of you. I'll catch you tomorrow at 3. District Tap downtown, 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. Have a great night.
Kurt Cavan here for Thorpe Real Estate. We've talked sports for years. Now let's talk about buying or selling your home. 317-622-8350.
Hey, it's Rob Belushi from Bill Estes Ford in Brownsburg. Summer is almost over, and that means school's in. Brian, please raise your hand.
School's in, and I've never been more excited. This year, even my kids are excited.
It is exciting. People to pick up, people to drop off, places to go, and Bill Estes Ford will help you get there by taking $3,000 off almost all of our 2021 vehicles.
Escapes, EcoSports, Explorers, F-150s, all top of the class.
And if it's not on the lot, it's on the way. Order yours today to lock in $3,000 off. Oh, plus get extra credit with $2,000 more for your trade.
I like that math. I love school.
Very good, Brian, but still not raising your hand. We have over 200 pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs ready for recess. All just reduced up to $2,000 below Kelley Blue Book prices.
$3,000 off new, $2,000 off nearly new, and $2,000 more for your trade. It pays to be teacher's pet.
Brian, that's it. Detention.
Yay, more time at school.
Learn to save at Bill Estes Ford. Take $3,000 off our 2021 vehicles, $2,000 off pre-owned, and $2,000 more for your trade. Your key is waiting at Bill Estes Ford in Brownsburg.
Looking for a hot tip to bet on? Check out the new Match Tips at Bet Rivers Sportsbook. The new Tips feature gives you special insights on player props and match bets for the top tips of the day. Go to Bet Rivers before the game, find your match, and tap the Tips icon to see independent research on recent team and player performance. Bet with confidence. Visit the Bet Rivers mobile app or go to betrivers.com and get the top tips of the day. Must be 21 and located in Indiana. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 1-800-994-8448.
Are you one of millions of people across the country thinking about retiring earlier than expected?
Join us on Tuesday, August 17th at 3 p.m. or 8 p.m. Eastern for our brand new virtual event for you called 9 Wealth Strategies. You will get our 9 strategies that can help protect your wealth and plan your income. Register for free at EdelmanFinancialEngines.com. Your wealth and ultimately your legacy face 3 risks: rising taxes, inflation, and healthcare costs. At our special virtual event called 9 Wealth Strategies, you'll get advice on how to help protect your wealth from these risks. Our advice is based on 30-plus years of experience and managing more than $270 billion. Please join us for this special virtual event, 9 Wealth Strategies, on Tuesday, August 17th at 3 p.m. or 8 p.m. Eastern. See how to do 3 things: manage your wealth, minimize taxes, and plan your income in retirement. Go to EdelmanFinancialEngines.com to register for free. That's EdelmanFinancialEngines.com. From here forward.
The Indiana State Fair is back, and so is American Dairy Association Indiana's famous and fabulous State Fair Dairy Bar. From July 30th through August 22nd, we'll be serving up all the great dairy bar treats you've been craving, like those scrumptious grilled cheese sandwiches, our rich and creamy signature milkshakes, thirst-quenching ice-cold milk, and so much more. In fact, celebrate the return of the dairy bar with this year's featured treats, the Buttermilk Waffle Witch with ooey gooey cheddar and American cheese, our fantastic chocolate cherry funk hand-dipped ice cream, and last but not least, the return of the oh-so-popular chocolate salted caramel milkshake. The Dairy Bar, a great Indiana State Fair tradition. We're on Main Street opposite the Coliseum, and we're open every day during the fair beginning at 7 a.m. See you there.
Brought to you by American Dairy Association Indiana, your Hoosier dairy farm families. Find out more at wintersdrinkmilk.com.
Why is Culver such a treat for so many families? Here's a hint.